Just make sure we're actually live before this happens.
We should be.
Mortal Kombat! That fucking song is just in my head now.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
That's the one reason that Mortal Kombat's
Yeah,
winning.
we're live.
We're live. Hello, good evening. Happy New Year, everybody. Welcome back to the Batyard Productions Finest Podcast. And your host for the evening is I, your Green Lantern from Oa, followed by, let's just go this way. We'll go with this guy.
That's off screen.
That's all
You.
screen.
I know. What's up, guys? I'm Matt from Gotham. And
Yeah.
I'm
we'll go
Josh. You're pointing in the wrong direction. But I'm Josh from Metropolis, and we got I'm pointing the wrong way. We got our special guest.
What's up? I'm Tony from I'm gonna say Pandora because Avatar just came out. I know it's off theme. Yeah.
You gotta say that every time you're on.
Happy New Year, fellas. I know we all were busy. It's good to be back as always. And as usual, we open up with BS, any pop culture news, really just kind of anything. If anybody wants to go first.
I don't have really anything. I don't have shit.
I have one thing. I have one thing that is complete BS, and Crispy was there for it the other night. And
that we stayed on too late for that. That was annoying as hell.
I mean, I can open with mine unless somebody else wanted to go first.
Go if yours is long. It's gonna be a long discussion.
You sound like
Okay.
You actually have something.
So I don't know if you guys saw it, but I think 3 days ago now, maybe 4, Rolling Stone put out their top 200 singers of all time. And there's some there were some expected names to be on there, some that really surprised me. But what really had a lot of me and some of my friends mad was they ranked Michael Jackson at number 86.
Yeah, I thought he was a little lower than I would have suspected. I actually didn't even look at who was the top. I think I stopped at Michael Jackson and I just kind of clicked off the list. It was like, okay.
Yeah, because I was
I've seen it up for today.
Michael Jackson at 86, but you have Ozzy Osbourne at the 40s or 30s or something.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow,
he's pretty high
really
up there.
stupid.
And I'm
That makes no sense.
the influence, even if you don't count the influence in record sales, Michael Jackson's singing range and ability is leaps and bounds over a lot of these people.
Yeah.
And I'm like, Rolling Stone just made an enemy of every person who's ever listened to Michael Jackson.
Well, it's even like Michael Jackson I think Michael Jackson as a child singer he's a better singer when he was a kid versus him and as an adult singer. So I feel like Michael Jackson could be on different tiers of the list. You have fucking little kid Michael Jackson, and then you have Thriller era Michael Jackson. He could be on that list 15 times.
Yeah, he has just so many different sounds that are unique just to him.
Does.
It's just, I personally felt like that was really disrespectful of what Rolling Stone did, especially considering, all the influence that Michael Jackson brought along with him, after his passing, and how many people to this day still are influenced by him. I'm like, you should have put Michael Jackson in the top 3 at least, because there's very few people that are men I would consider better singers than Michael.
So who is the top?
So number 1, they had Aretha Franklin, and number 2, they had Whitney Houston.
Okay.
But at fucking number 3 is Mariah Carey.
No.
And I'm just like, the only song people know by her is the fucking Christmas song, and that's it.
That's very true. That's actually very true.
I know a few other songs, but that's only because I slept to MTV as a kid. So I'd wake up to fucking 50,000 songs playing in the middle of the night. Well, that was also back when MTV still did music. And I'm like, how the fuck is Mariah Carey number 3 and Michael Jackson's 86? This is a bogus list.
Yeah, that's kind of blasphemy for
No
sure.
fan.
I mean, I can see Michael Jackson should be at least top 20. That's where I would put him. I don't even say like he needs to be top 10. I think top 20 would have sufficed for sure. But yeah, that's
And
kind of
then
fun.
what else? They had Sir Elton John at 50. I thought that was a very odd placement, especially considering, I think he just did his last tour this year, right? Well, not this year,
It was
but
pretty
last
recent.
year. Yeah, it was like last year or something.
Yeah.
I thought he would be at least in the 40s. But
Yeah, I think he's a better. I think every singer we just mentioned is a better singer than Ozzy Osbourne. I don't even think Ozzy should really, be on the list or like be very
the list
low.
is the list is a big kind of hodgepodge. They have people who did salsa music, people I don't even know, their country of origin, and I'm like, I have no idea who this person is to even be on here. But that's the BS I have. Me and Crispy, we sat through like an hour and a half of people yelling about this.
Oh my god. The thing is, like, the funny thing is, like, the group of people were on their phone call, but one was in our party chat on PlayStation, and Jerry's girlfriend Trinia, she was right next to Jerry mostly, so we hear her conversation piece. So I'm just like we're both sitting there like, why don't you just join our PlayStation chat? We can all talk about this because we all have words to say about this. But it was just like telephone passing back and forth. Oh god.
I just want to say this last little piece so I can wrap up. They had Billie Eilish as 198. I think she's hot shit. I think she's the worst singer I've ever heard. And they had Ariana Grande on that list too. And I don't think she's also that good of a singer.
I think Ariana Grande is a good singer. I actually think she's talented.
I think she's I'm not saying she's not talented, but to be on, like a top 200 list, I wouldn't personally. I wouldn't do it.
I don't know. I think she's worthy at least to be on that list. I don't know. I don't know about Billie Eilish. All I know is that Bad Guy song.
She sounds like she's whining when she makes music.
Yeah, I don't really know her music. Tony, what do you think? Who do you think should be on this list? Are you mad? Are you happy?
Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Yeah, I hear you.
Okay, yeah, no, I'm looking at the list and I just don't understand how it's being ranked because it's just like based on singing wise, like it just doesn't make sense like at all.
That's what we're saying. It doesn't make any sense.
Once you get to like the 50s, nothing makes sense.
No, I think after the 20s, nothing makes sense. After the 20s.
I didn't. Yeah, I X'd out. I got to Michael Jackson and I X'd out of it. Is Freddie Mercury like top 5?
I think he's in the 20s.
I think he's in like the top.
We have court.
I think he's in between 15 and 20s.
He should be like top 10 at least.
That's how I knew he wasn't in the top 10.
Where do they rank like the Beatles on there too? Is like
no, Paul McCartney's on there.
McCartney and Lennon are on there, but they hold vastly different spots.
Yeah.
I think Paul McCartney's in the 20s.
McCartney ranked higher.
Really? Huh. I think, yeah, okay. All right.
Because I was expecting one or the other, not both. And I'm like, okay, this is kind of weird.
I think they should both be on there. They definitely have their distinct vocal sounds.
Yeah.
For sure. Like, Lennon's more nasally. And McCartney, I think he has like more of a range than Lennon.
Yeah.
McCartney's
I'm not the biggest John Lennon fan, but I was more expecting him than Paul McCartney.
Yeah. I think people kind of hold Lennon to a high pedestal just because he was murdered. Which don't get me wrong. I like both of them. I like the Beatles, but he's not my favorite Beatle. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Ringo Starr, that's my favorite Beatle. The one
Real-
everyone
real-
forgets about.
Real quick.
Wait, go ahead, Tony.
Go ahead,
Bob
Tony.
Dylan-
I'm sorry.
Bob Dylan at 15 is like kind of wild. Like as a singer.
Bob Dylan shouldn't be on the list.
As a singer,
He's a good
Like
writer.
I said, 20s where it fell off.
Tony, you saw what I meant, right? Like once you got in
Yeah,
the top 50,
kinda
this was
confusing.
just it was crazy.
Mm-hmm.
Is honest?
Okay.
Wait, Jerry. Just to go back to your comment, is Ringo really your favorite Beatle? Is that true?
You're hurting him.
No, he's not my favorite. I just
Oh,
I remember
I
his
wanted
name
to-
because a lot of people forget it.
You triggered him for a second.
I wanted to see what your. I wanted to see if that was a true statement. I don't think that's a bad thing.
I definitely like Ringo.
For his
My favorite would
personality.
probably be Paul McCartney. I like Paul McCartney.
Yeah, McCartney's mine. Matt, is Ringo yours?
Nope.
Yeah, he is.
Nope. He had that one good song. That was it.
He has a couple.
To me, he had one
Okay.
good song.
I like Pete best. He's my favorite. He's the best of the
Yeah,
Beatles.
yeah, exactly.
All right, so let
It
me
was-
ask you guys: if you were to do like your top 10 like singers that made a huge impact to your life, who would you pick?
Oh,
God.
I already mentioned like 3 of them. Stevie Wonder, that's one I haven't named. Stevie Wonder, Michael Jackson, Paul McCartney, Freddie Mercury, James Brown.
mm-hmm.
I'm trying to think of others.
I was gonna go first. I wasn't expecting you to go first. I already had like my top 10.
Go ahead, Jerry. I gave you 5.
So for mine, this isn't in any particular order. These are just the 10 singers I know I could listen to all day. So, obviously, Michael Jackson, Freddie Mercury, Aretha Franklin,
Yeah, that's a good one.
Sade, Prince,
Mm-hmm.
who else? Alicia Keys, and I just had this person's name. Whitney Houston, Gladys McKnight, and Billie Holiday.
Oh, that's some pretty good choices.
I was gonna do Frank Sinatra, but I'm like, I listen to Sinatra kind of passingly. I am a fan, I listen to him in passing a lot.
Yeah, I'll add Frank to mine. So
Yeah,
there's
that's
six. I don't know. I guess Dean Martin. That's another
Yeah.
one of those
throw
crooners.
the Rat Pack in there.
Yeah, throw the Rat
Mm.
Pack. Yeah. Well, how many do I need? 2 more? 3 more?
Yes.
I don't know. That's all I got right now.
That'll work.
I like you know what I actually like James Hetfield's voice from Metallica, even though like it's like a grungier voice. I think for a metal band, I think he actually is like a really good singer for that genre for sure. Especially his older voice, like not his older voice now, his
Yeah.
voice like when they first
Back
were
then.
playing. Yeah.
Yeah, I kind of hate his voice now, but like, there's nothing you can do about it. He's old.
I don't hate it, but yeah, I definitely have a softer spot for when he was like more raw, for sure.
Yeah.
Who you got, Tony? I know you got some bangers in there.
That's tough. I don't know. I like Prince, MJ, The Weeknd, Paul probably. Probably not Frank Sinatra. Who else? Singers.
I know. I feel like I need to throw some females in there. I have a
Oh,
bunch of dudes.
no, that's
I mean,
fine.
it's just your personal. There's no right or wrong answer.
There's like one singer. I don't know her name. Like the female singer from the Mamas and the Papas. She's really good. I don't know. her name.
I can't think of her name. I know you're talking about.
Yeah.
There was another one that I was thinking of. Someone said.
And Pippin from Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
He does have a good voice, not gonna lie.
He
does have a good voice.
He is a bard.
Thank you, Pippin.
Yeah, Pippin. I had to throw a curveball in there. That's my list. I think I did it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's good.
Matt,
that's
do you have
good.
any? Or are you writing them down?
No,
Stevie
I'm
Wonder's
trying
one.
to keep it in check, and I had to double check two singers to make sure because one ended up taking upon like part of the band's name as a last name, and I was like, I don't know if that's legitimate, but if you look at it, it's there and at Google and everywhere else. So,
No, Little Richard's another one. That's another.
Little Richard.
Yeah.
I haven't heard that
His
name in a
booze.
while.
And his, all the ooh, and all that.
Who you got in yours, Crispy?
I think I'm maybe 3 or 4 short, maybe.
You can just give us what you have.
So
I just said like 10 in case you
I'm
had 10
kind
off
of like
the top of your head.
we basically do have like similarities with a lot of our lists. Like I do have Frank, Dean, Paul McCartney, Freddie Mercury, Michael. I have Danny Worsnop. He's one of my favorite like heavy metal band lead singers, but he's like been jumping around to like R&B-ish music, country music, and all that junk. So he's opening his range up, and I'm enjoying the albums he's been putting out. This other hardcore singer, Chris Motionless. He has a lot of range through all of his albums. It's not just that he just screams or just like has this one creepy voice. There is a band called Icy Stars. They have what's his name? I think what's his name? Devin Oliver. Saw him in concert. Sounds like the fucking album. Throws me off. So I do have 2 more. Shit.
That's pretty interesting.
Yeah, it was
I mean,
shocking.
you don't have to
doing
do
that.
the last 2.
I know, but I
curious.
kind of feel like I have to. But I saw Icy Stars and Asking Alexandria where Danny comes from. Danny felt like they just because the tour that I went to see them on, Danny just got put back onto it, so it felt like it was rusty. But that guy just came on fucking stage. It was just like, what the fuck am I listening to? It was
Nice.
weird.
Now I'm like thinking of more names that I fucked up that I didn't say. Like all the Beach Boys, all of them, all their harmonies, Bing Crosby, Stevie Nicks. But I had to say the Beach Boys. That was like important. If I didn't say that.
I forgot to say Little Richard. I'm glad you said that for me. I do listen to Little Richard. All right. Does anybody else have anything else?
Yeah, we
I
have
got-
BS. We don't really have news and stuff.
It's
Oh,
I got
not
something.
gonna be kind of
Trigun Stampede
the
coming
first
out
of the
soon,
year.
I think.
Oh wait, what was that, Tony?
I thought Trigun Stampede was coming out. I was looking at my anime list to see what's coming out, and I saw Trigun Stampede. I don't know when it comes out.
Dude,
but
there's
I
a
thought
lot of
Oh
stuff
yeah,
coming
that is
out.
coming out soon.
I'll be excited.
We got 2 weeks. We got 2 weeks until I got reincarnated as a slime. What was it? Scarlet Bond or something like that? It's called.
Yeah.
That's on the 20th this month. That's the movie. Then we get the anime series kicks up somewhere down by like fall winter time. Is that scheduled for this year? We have a few other ones that are just this year. I think this last like 3 months is this impact of all of like anime that's coming out.
Yeah.
I can't even keep up with them, but yeah, we're getting a lot of anime. Even Konosuba, that's getting like I think that was like 5 years waiting. It's finally getting no. I think his last time was 2019, so at least 3 or 4 years pending of a new season.
Ooh.
So
Yeah. I know these last 2 weeks, I've had more anime news come in than really kind of anything else.
Well, you just gave me my biggest news for my new favorite show, Goblin
Oh,
Slayer.
yeah,
We're gonna
Bungo
get
Stray
that.
Dog season 4 started.
That I know I need to pick up on that too. Fuck. I know it's only one episode though, so I'm not that far behind though.
Yeah.
But
Oh, unless somebody has a crazy made up story they want to share. I have a
no,
crazy
well,
made up story.
I
The only thing I want to mention is like a movie I've seen, but go
Yeah.
go ahead, guys.
Oh, go ahead, please. The Rolling Stone list was all I had. I couldn't find anything remotely interesting this time.
Well, Tony and I saw Avatar, The Last Waterbender 2. Wait, what was it called? The Way of Water? Well, I don't even know. Avatar, the Waterbender, and I actually would recommend it. It was a good flick. It was a good movie.
Definitely worth the 3D / IMAX. If you can.
I would recommend it that way too. And our seats were angled on a like we had good seats, and then some old lady beat us with a stick and stole our seats. So then we were forced to the corner. But that's okay. I had some beers, so I was okay. I think Tony was more upset, which understandably so.
No, I wasn't. I was just.
It's okay, Tony.
Oh,
I bought the tickets for all of us, and then these dudes are on the end like, Tony, tell them to move. Those are our seats. I'm like, bro, I bought the tickets. This is your job.
I was on the wall. I was literally like, there's three of us, Tony, his
Josh
buddy,
like this,
and then I was over here. I'm literally on the wall. I would have to jump over two bodies to really say anything. So, and plus I was under the influence, so like I wasn't able to talk to anyone.
Hey, Tony, don't feel bad. I went into the last time I was at the movies. Someone literally stole my seat as I was walking in. I said, "Are you serious?" And I said, "You know what? It was an early showing, so I was like, there's plenty of extra seats. I'm not gonna say anything, but the second this a-hole gets up, I'm gonna be like, yeah, this is my seat."
Yeah,
and I will pull up my ticket stub, and I'm gonna tell them, go get the manager, because you're gonna get in trouble, douche.
Yeah, I know.
I've been there, Tony. I know that kind of anger. It's very different.
Yeah, it was annoying. And but anyway, the movie was good. I definitely recommend the movie. It's definitely like you hear the runtime, it's like, oh, that sounds long, but it didn't really drag at all for me. I think it kept me engaged the whole time. So I do recommend it. I liked it better than the first one.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, and I wasn't like too stoked to see this one either. I was like, all right, I feel like I have to watch it just because it's like one of those movies. But then I watched. I was like, yeah, I'm glad I saw this.
It felt like good. I don't know why it felt more James Cameron than the other movie. I don't know why.
I think it was because of the underwater stuff. Because like James Cameron's so like about like deep sea exploration and the Titanic sinking.
Yeah,
he actually goes underwater.
When there was like a certain scene near the end, I was like, this reminds me of Aliens. And then I was like, and certain things on the sets, I was like, yeah, this just reminds me of Aliens a lot. And I was like, this is cool. But I don't know.
I actually never seen Aliens. I have to see that.
I'm glad you mentioned Avatar, Josh, because I actually have some BS related to it.
Okay.
I thought I was so I bought me a fucking 12-pack. And I said, you know what? I'm gonna splurge. I finished all 12 of them in 20 minutes. I was good and under the influence. And so I got this alert on my phone talking about a sequel to Avatar. And I'm like, there's no way he's already working on a sequel and the movie just came out.
No, he has
movies. They were making them at the same time. Like
he filmed at least the second, third, and some of the fourth one at the same time.
Some of the fourth one.
The third one is gonna involve a more aggressive version of the. I know I'm going to say this wrong. The Na'vi.
The
Is that right?
Na'vi. Yeah.
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 Yeah, and this time they're supposed to be like like fire-based Na'vi. So I'm like,
Oh
this
man.
really sounds like Avatar: The Last Airbender.
If they make them fucking like Comanches and like fucking hardcore and they scalp people and shit. Oh man.
I have no idea
I want
he's
them to be
gonna
hardcore
envision,
as fuck.
but I can imagine him doing it.
I hope they're like Comanches. That would be so cool. And they're like the last freaking tribe that like really give them hell, just like the Comanches in real life. That was the last tribe that like fucking really gave it all. If you ever get a chance to read the book or listen to the audiobook, I think it's Empire Summer Moon. It talks all about the Comanches and like how ruthless and brutal they were. It's super intense. I definitely recommend it, and it's all real history. So I hope they pull that in there. That'd be super cool.
My one comment and concern about Avatar is something. Oh wait, I want to just flame Josh for a second. This man, like, did you guys see Avatar?
No,
I haven't seen it. I'm probably gonna wait for it to stream.
Okay.
I wasn't super into the first one, and when I heard this one,
I wasn't either.
I was like, I'm gonna wait just because I know it's James Cameron, so there's gonna be a lot of really awesome cinematography in it. But if I'm not into the plot, I'm just gonna sit here and just be kind of disgruntled.
sitting here.
Josh missed some major plot points in the beginning.
And
then
What were you doing?
3 hours later, I was like, "How are you watching this movie?" Like,
some other guy, man.
And then I was like, "Why do you think this happened? Why do you think that happened?" He's like, "I don't know."
Yeah.
All right, so Josh
That
didn't
was
even fucking
pretty
see the movie.
I
got
did.
it.
It wasn't that important. It wasn't like important enough where I didn't understand what was going on, but like it was definitely like a character development situation which made someone's what they were going through more interesting. And so yeah. That's all I can say about that. Because I haven't seen the fucking first one since it came out, so I forgot. I remember that shit.
That's fair.
But
I will say, based on that thing that you forgot, it has me concerned about the future of the franchise, just because of the fact that they have to do that. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's true.
It might be a very limited amount of stories they can tell in Pandora. You know what I mean?
Okay.
I don't know.
I think I see where you're going with this.
Yeah, I don't know. It's concerning, but
I don't know. They better do some Comanche fucking Na'vi. It's like that's gonna win me over, man.
Oh,
I mean, I did like this movie. Just the last thing I want to add is like, if you can see it in theaters, I do recommend it because like the spectacle of all the the effects and stuff like really makes it. And I think if you have a really decent home screen theater, like a big TV and like surround sound, I think you'll probably get the most out of it. But you probably won't be able to see it in 3D. And it definitely, I don't know, it adds another element to it. Would you agree, Tony?
Oh yeah, no, definitely. Like it looks really good. The 3D was like really good, and not abrasive like a lot of 3D is. It's like the first 3D movie I've seen in maybe 5 or 6 years, and it felt worth it. I was like, whoa, okay, maybe this is not horrible.
Right, because the first one was worth it for 3D. So
absolutely.
This one would be too.
Yeah.
I mean, still Spy Kids 3D, but not too many movies can be that movie.
You joke, but the first time when I saw that in theaters, I was freaking out. I was like, "This is so awesome!"
Yeah, because we were like fucking 7 or whatever it came
out. I remember the frogs jumping, and I was like, "What the fuck?"
Yeah, I remember trying to
grab the frogs.
Yeah, like an idiot, like a stupid kid.
So I'll just say this last thing so we can close out BSBS.
Oh, I got one thing too.
What do you got?
Supposedly we're maybe not getting another season of Wednesday for a really long time. Maybe for 2 years. Because supposedly Netflix is hitting some legal issues with Wednesday, with whoever actually owns The Addams Family. Yeah.
Who owns it now?
I don't remember. I'm trying to remember who it was, but they're getting shit for it, and nobody knows that they're going to continue onwards and just pay the money so they can have the show.
I mean, it's
continue
such a
on
big
Netflix.
show. There's no way it's not. They're not going
Yeah,
to settle
I mean-
and figure something out. That would be
But-
super
but-
They'll
stupid.
probably work something out of court.
But someone else was
Mhm.
making the animated movies that were also making money somehow, right?
Yeah,
Yes.
the Illumination, crappy.
Yeah.
Like those movies look terrible.
I heard they're good and they're making money. I don't know.
Well, a lot of movies that make money are still terrible. So.
Yeah, but if it's making
Means
money,
too
but if
much.
it's making money, it might make the fight a little harder for Wednesday, to be honest.
Yeah, maybe. That's I could see your point there. I wouldn't say they're good. That's a whole different argument. But I haven't seen them, but they look terrible.
So the complete fake BS I have is so Shang-Chi I've seen a title for his second movie called A Wreckage of Time. So I don't know how true it is. This was something I also saw under the influence of 12 beers in 20 minutes.
Oh wow.
And
Good
so
for you, man. I can't do that. That's impressive.
And so, again, like I said, I have no idea how true this is in any fashion. But on the actor list, I saw that they had Jackie Chan listed. And I was thinking, if they really found a way to have Jackie Chan do a big Disney production like this, that'd be kind of awesome to see, because then we might see, more martial arts in the future going forward in Marvel, which I'm all for.
Yeah.
I would love to see other, martial artists get their time to shine, whether it be, Disney movies or, other, American movies that, do martial arts. I think that'd be cool. And I really hope that is true. But like I said, this is complete fake BS until proven correct.
Yeah, no, I feel you. I love martial arts movies, and it's so sad that you have to go back at least 20 years to watch any decent ones.
Yeah, they get a good one.
Dude, it's
Yeah.
so sad. Like,
Yeah.
especially, I feel like now martial art movies are in like the prime for resurgence. Because when was the last one that has come out?
Mortal Kombat.
Yeah,
we watched the
Street Fighter.
1995 Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
I'm talking about the most recent Mortal Kombat.
That is the
That
most
movie
recent one.
sucked.
It did suck. But it was more martial arts.
Why did you make me watch that? Why did we watch that again?
We all agreed to watch it. Don't blame me. We
I
all
didn't agree
agreed.
to that.
It wasn't that bad. What the fuck?
What?
But that's all I got. And I think it's time we get into the meat of what I've been anticipating.
Yes.
So now we will be discussing Street Fighter 1994. And I want Crispy to take the
I
synopsis.
fucking
on
hate
this
you.
one.
I knew you were gonna pick me for that one. I don't know how to fucking describe it. There's so much shit happening at once with this movie. So like Street Fighter.
Wait. Before you continue, I would like to say one thing. I know I'm gonna get his name wrong, but the gentleman who played M. Bison, Raul Julia,
Gomez.
So this is just a little bit, after Matt's synopsis, but I felt like it was appropriate to say it before. So this film was his last theatrical feature that he recorded, because 2 months prior he died of stomach cancer. And I recognized him from some other movies I kind of seen but had to look up. I think he's
Gomez in the Addams
Family. And he was in another movie I watched. So I would like to say, rest in peace. Thank you for all the great movies and the funny movies that you have given us. Continue on, Matt.
I agree.
I didn't even start, so damn. Yeah, that sucks. But how do I even start off with this? So it's a movie about we fight in the streets, and that's all it's about. We continue onwards from downtown to uptown. No, I'm just joking. It's how do I explain it? There's so much shit that happens with this. We kind of like start off with like the America military unit, and I believe in China, and we are trying to like basically patrol and try to find the mastermind that is a Nazi at the same time located there. And as that's happening, these two gentlemen are basically doing a fake arms deal to make some money, and they got caught trying to do the arms deal, and they end up getting thrown into a street fight to the death, basically. And as that's happening, the freaking U.S. Army crashes that party, and they end up getting captured and set up a plan to infiltrate the Nazis. At the same time, there's this interview, like this news station that's trying to get interviews on what's going on with this certain like what is the certain Nazi party, like all this stuff, other notes that's happening, and or the general is just being a dick, and he's like, I don't do interviews, go fuck yourself, I don't talk to you guys, blah 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 blah. And so the news outlet decided to join the fucking fight because there's a freaking there's a meaning behind the main news anchor's backstory that she has to get revenge for her family against one of the certain people of the villain side. I believe it's the one. I believe it's the guy with the eye patch. She's going against. I forget his name, but continuing onward, they end up infiltrating and getting added to the Nazis like ranks, and well, the two gentlemen that were trying to do the arms deal, they became part of the Nazis rank and like hanging out with them and became fighters in this Street Fighter styled base underground shit. And the military tracks them to there and ends up infiltrating and blowing up the fucking place and destroying everything. Meanwhile, everything's happening. The was a news anchor. She got captured right beforehand, so she's fucking there with her crew that's captured in the basements also. And we ended off with basically we end up beating the Nazis in this orthodox way. I can't even fucking think about it because he ends up fucking getting superpowers and fucking coming back to life after getting electrocuted in the baby. I just feel like Mortal Kombat did it better. But it feels weird. But yeah, they end up beating the Nazis and getting, I don't know, they get a small interview at the end after securing the win at the end. I don't know how to best describe this movie. There's so much shit happening at once. And it's like,
gonna say Jean-Claude Van Damme is fighting Gomez dressed up as Lord Farquaad, and fucking Ken, an American Dragon, Jake Long, is going out trying to find him. And Mulan turns out to be a news reporter who's trying to kill Lord Farquaad.
Yeah.
And they make a shitty Lou Ferrigno wannabe fucking Hulk monster in their laboratory.
Oh, I forgot about
that. That has got to do it. That's way better.
I forgot about that. I forgot about the green guy in the basement. I don't leave here. What the
before
fuck?
we continue, I gotta know, how much do you guys know about Street Fighter? Tony, I think you said you know a little bit more.
I knew like all the characters as they were coming up, but apparently one of those characters was T-Hawk, and I had no idea. And I was like,
Yes.
I was like, I had no idea that was T-Hawk.
I said the same thing. I'm watching this, and I saw the cast list, and I saw that Dawson was on there. I'm like, oh yeah, he's the stretchy arm guy. He's my favorite.
Yeah, and he's just a scientist. Like what?
He's just
Okay,
a fucking scientist. No, that's bogus.
bro. I just want to know.
I didn't mean to steal the floor, Matt.
No, it's fine. I have no experience in like Street Fighter other than Street Fighter 1 and 2, where we just fight each other, and there's not really the real story unless you read the dialogue pages to all the characters. And
Now, it's
Yeah.
funny you say that because this movie is loosely based off of Street Fighter 2.
Yeah, that's what it
it's-
said. It said Street Fighter 2, which I hear a lot of people talk more about Street Fighter 2 than.
yeah, it's the
Street
more
Fighter.
popular.
That's one
It's-
of the more popular ones.
I
I think that's when they started bringing in a lot of the more well-known characters.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm missing a Dooku. I'm missing that. This movie kind of fucked me up with certain characters not doing certain things they do, and character designs are slightly different than they were. So I was really thrown off by a lot of it. So I just gave the fuck up on trying to guess who the fuck's who. Like I didn't even know Von Damme. I didn't even know who the fuck he was supposed to be throughout the whole time until I looked up a photo. I'm like, oh, he's flat top. What the fuck?
Now, one thing I'm not trying to just talk down about this movie, but one thing that really just bothered the fucking hell out of me was the fact of at the end, they had everyone do their victory poses.
Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah.
I'm like, if
Jean-Claude's
you never
like-
played a Street Fighter, you would not know anything about this. You would just see random people posing. And throughout the fucking movie, they have people do their signature moves as just basic attacks. Like when the guy
They
who
did
I
signature
don't know
moves.
why they got a Polynesian to play a Japanese sumo.
That's what I was gonna
That
say.
bothered me a
Yes.
lot.
That's what I was gonna
That,
say.
that
really
one
cool.
did
Oh,
bother
I
me a
didn't
lot.
real-
And where did the boxing guy
Well, they
get his
do- they-
outfit?
That's what I was gonna say.
Where did the boxing guy
Where
get
did
his outfit
Balrog
from?
get his glove
He
from?
wasn't wearing the
He's
outfit the
supposed to
whole
be
time.
Balrog. He had the gloves in his pockets.
Did he?
Oh, okay.
Oh my god.
That's the only credit I'm giving it.
Okay.
But when E Honda was fighting Zangief, and they just had him, and then it would cut, and then cut, because with E Honda you can do the Tony. I don't know if you've played Street Fighter with E Honda, yeah, but and I'm like, why the fuck are they doing that as a regular cut? You could just have him, just fist, just palm the guy to death.
That's
As a
true.
regular
He is
move.
Japanese.
But there's a part
Yeah.
where he does a slam and they go through the ground, and it sounds like they just die at one moment. And I'm like,
Yes.
well, there's two characters gone, and I'm just like, fuck it. But then later on, I appreciate the Omar to freaking when they're just like fighting and they find the freaking miniature set and there's Godzilla noises. I'm like, I appreciate that right now.
I
And
appreciated
it's
that. I thought
stupid,
that
but
was
it's fun. Well, I'm like, wow, you don't need this in this movie though.
It didn't need to be
Josh,
in the
what
movie.
do
That's
you
how I
think?
felt.
It didn't need to be there.
I felt like everyone was dubbed, even though I don't think everyone was dubbed. It felt like everyone was dubbed in the movie. I know there's a few characters that obviously were. Like there's one of the soldiers who was obviously dubbed. I think he was Japanese or something, and I don't know. It just all the dialogues felt super awkward.
It felt forced.
Jean-Claude Van Damme, I think he was the highlight, the monster that they're building up towards at the end, Jean-Claude's friend. What's his name? I don't know. I don't know. He turns into a shitty Charlie or
Bison.
something. No, the
Green guys.
the green
like the
thing.
hair.
The guy that's
Blanca.
supposed to be Blanca.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Charlie.
looked terrible.
Blanca.
Lightning
Charlie-
bastard.
They're building up this monster throughout the whole movie, and then they finally showcase at the end, and it's the worst makeup I ever seen in my life. They did it way better in the
He's
70s, which was
True.
decades
I
prior.
did agree. And when I saw that, I'm like, this is a worse great value Lou Ferrigno than what they should have done.
Yeah, it was terrible. You know what? I take that back. The guy who plays Gomez in the Addams Family, he was the best part. He plays the Nazi.
M.
What's
Bison.
his name? Yeah, Lord Bison or whatever. He was the best part because he was like so in his character. He seemed like he was having the most fun.
It
too.
did look like
He seemed like the most believable too. You know.
Well, he had all the gizmos, so he had to have the fun.
Yeah, and he had the gizmos. And his costume looked pretty good. I liked how he looked.
I got sold on it later.
Oh, what did you say, Tony?
I said I got sold on it later. Initially, they showed him. I didn't know who it was at all, and I was like, "Oh, it's like I don't know." When I see him Bison, I think of like huge, imposing, broad shoulders, big guy, and he's not a huge guy. I was like, "Oh," but like he did good in the role. So first impression.
I don't even know what these characters are supposed to look like in the game. So
he looks very similar.
Some of them are very similar, but others are just not.
I'm looking at him now. Okay, yeah.
Van Damme's supposed to have a haircut like that high that's flat.
So, Crispy, what did you think about Chun-Li and her actress?
She was like cool, but like it didn't feel right.
Do you recognize her from anything else?
She's Mulan, and she's in Star Wars.
Is she?
Well, thanks a lot for ruining it, guys. Because I know he wasn't paying that much attention. That was the trap.
No, I didn't even know. Like, I wasn't. I didn't see Mulan. First of all,
she's the voice actor.
Oh, the voice.
Okay. She did do a cameo in Mulan.
Oh, I thought you were talking about the new movie, and I'm like.
That's why I said Mulan. I'm not racist. She actually plays Mulan. Okay.
Yeah, she's actually.
We weren't claiming you.
I didn't know that in the intro. I was like, "Oh gosh, I was gonna say
and she's Fennec Shand in Book of Fett and Mandalorian.
Okay.
Yes, she's actually Mulan, so that's why I got away with it.
Yeah, like Josh is right. She is Mulan because I was like, when I was watching this, I said. Her voice is eerily similar to Mulan's. Then I looked it up and I'm like, oh, she's Mulan.
Yeah, she looks pretty good in this movie. I'm like, oh, they should have utilized her in live action more back in the day.
I do believe she's like she's a good actress, but like what they did for the character, I didn't think it was like good and like well written for her. Like they could have done something a little bit better for her. And they didn't. Her outfit for that character, isn't it blue?
Yes.
And they went red. And I'm like, why the fuck did we do this color change? But whatever. The military is supposed to be fucking green, but they're blue instead. So that's probably the confusion. They're like, we can't have her be on the military team. She's the news anchor. So let's go with red to stick out. But the enemy is red also. So that's confliction also. So. You never know.
Yeah, their camouflage is useless on both sides.
Oh.
Who has blue and red camo? I could see maybe the blue, but the red is like you're just a target. It's just like it's just for stupid, like for kids to know. Oh, that's the good guys and that's the bad guys.
Yeah.
And they even said it in the movie, like we're good guys. I'm like,
yes,
you have to fucking spell it out. It was just so stupid.
And the end was
so dumb.
Then
I didn't even know.
One thing that would have made the movie better when Jean-Claude Van Damme was fighting Raul, if he would have did the Van Damme kick at the end, the one bogus ass kick you always see coming because he does the split with it.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm like, is he gonna do the kick? That's literally what I was looking forward to the most. I'm like, he's obviously gonna do the kick.
No,
he was like flying around on rigs and shit. It was so silly, like that ending battle with. I'm just gonna keep saying Gomez because I forget Lord Bison.
He did the kick, and I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he was like flying around and shit, and like obviously he was like breaking wires.
Bison's supposed to do that. Those are his moves.
Yeah.
No, not Bison. I'm just saying like Van Damme when he was like he jumps off like his I don't know, around the world. gizmo, and he's like flying around. And I saw on the Round the World thing, like there was literally a Street Fighter controller on it, and that's
Yes.
like how
Was
like,
there?
I was gonna wait to see if anybody brought that up. That was honestly the best motif that they could have done for this movie. When I saw the old arcade joystick, and the fact that he knew what he was doing, because if you've ever played on the arcade machine, you have to slam that damn analog stick to get it to work.
Yeah. Yeah, clack, 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 clack. That way. Oh, God.
I really...
Tony, were you...
go ahead, Josh. We haven't given Tony a chance. We've all just fallen off the handle.
I was just going to ask Tony if he was confused on who the good guys and who the bad guys.
Shut up.
No, I'm really glad they like color coded the costume. But I was gonna comment on at the part at the end when DJ is like leaving. It's like, oh, where's your uniform? He's like, oh, I'm leaving. And then he's like, oh, but he's good guy. He's like, no, he's not good guy. He paid us. And Zangief is just like idiot, like, oh, you're getting paid.
Yeah,
yes.
I thought that was really dumb.
It was really dumb.
Zangief is not that stupid.
And then I didn't know till then when he said DJ. I'm like, that's DJ? Why is DJ just some guy? Like what is this? They're really just trying to squeeze him into the movie.
I don't know. I didn't even know that
they just had him as a bystander. And I'm like,
he was a real character.
This guy is DJ.
What is DJ?
Like, the
Explain
only people
DJ.
who really looked like their character was Van Damme a little bit. The Raul who played Lord Bison, fucking and the dude they got to play Vega. Those were and the guy that played Sagat.
Yeah,
those were like the only four that looked good.
Yeah.
But I was like, how is this supposed to be? Like, how do you go from DJ, who's like, I just remember his moves in the fight, like the games were just like dancing, like he's just dancing and like punching and kicking. How is he like a second in command to a general? Like, you're really trying to squeeze him into this movie right now, like.
And even the chick who looked like who's supposed to be Cammy, the only badass thing she did was fire the damn bazooka. That was it.
Yeah, I wanted to see her do her spin flip move, whatever the fuck.
Is that
that's what I was expecting? I'm like, oh well, maybe they'll have her do, one of her signature moves.
Yeah.
Is that the girl that's supposed to be in the green One Piece? Like
how
set up? Okay. But she's like this in this one, she was not in that. She was definitely in they gave her pants. And I'm like, I understand. I'm like, I give it them for that.
I can understand.
I understand that one. They give her that one. I'm like, I feel like that actress would be really fucking uncomfortable running around this whole fucking movie like that. I would not. That's a good change.
They didn't even give her Cammy's signature braid, like the long ponytail braid. Yeah,
they made a joke on that. They made a fucking joke on that too. Like, oh, ponytails, you shouldn't be talking. And she does like the grasp on her, like, oh, okay. I'm like, wait, hold on. Why are we making jokes about stupid hair right now? Doesn't make any fucking sense to add this pun.
Like, this movie poked so much fun at itself. It's hard to take it seriously.
It definitely did. I actually enjoyed the tone, which is kind of weird to say. I enjoyed that it was like very lighthearted. Like some of the edits were kind of too quick and like it was almost a little too stupid at times. Like obviously spelling out who the bad guys and who the good guys were is like, okay, I can figure this out. And who's Ken? Who's Ken in the other one? What's the other one?
Ken is useless.
Ryu.
Ryu.
Yeah. Like their dialogue back and forth was like really stupid. Like they're like basically literally spelling out like, oh, we're good guys. Like they're bad guys. That was literally a line of dialogue. Like that's what they said.
The fun thing is like the one thing I do know about Street Fighter is like it's like Ken is just a shitty character. And all I know is like no one cares about him that much. And it feels like they did him right, like making him look like a shit character. But I have character? Ken. I always heard like Ken was useless. He's not the best fighter, and he's just like nobody likes playing as him. So I kind of see how it goes.
Yeah, so like
I just see that for.
Wait, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, John. I was
No, I
gonna
just
say
have a
I could
question.
see that for early Street Fighter, but it's like even within that, Ken and Ryu were in the same dojo, so they have the exact same move set as each other.
Were they in the same dojo? Because these
Same
bitches,
dojo. That's why they
is
have
in
the
this
same
movie.
gi.
Because in
Yeah.
this movie, they didn't fucking talk about anything like, "Oh,
No.
dude, I just brought you."
That's
in
why
on
you
this
saw the
deal."
random the guy who did Ryu when he did that. That's a Hadouken, and
That
then
was
when
a
he did the
Hadouken?
upper, that's a Hadouken.
I didn't even see
That's
the
why.
Hadouken come out.
That's why it was so awkward looking.
Because it was like
Even.
right next to him. They showed like a little flash. They don't want
Yeah,
to show
that
a
was it.
fireball.
And then the
There was-
uppercut was the signature Shoryuken, and then the flying kick spin.
But
that
he's
Ken
supposed to have
always is
ability.
known-
He's supposed to have like powers
Yes.
with that. He's supposed to have like that
Yes.
like flame
Uh-huh.
electric with him. Like what the?
Yes, he
I
is.
think, I think I fast forwarded that part. I didn't watch
But
They
Josh,
didn't
what
wanna
was your
show the
question
full-
about
I'm
A Honda?
broken.
Oh, yes. So like the sumo wrestler character, he's obviously he's Japanese in the game, right? And
Yeah.
then
Yes, he
in
is
the movie he's
100%
Hawaiian
Japanese.
because they
He's
they
some
state in
type
the
of
movie-
Hawaiian.
Yeah, he states in the movie like he's Hawaiian. And then like I'm like
And it's
I never heard of a Hawaiian sumo wrestler before. So
Hawaii does have a large Japanese population, so I can give him that because when I went there for vacation, I saw a lot of people of Asian descent. But the dark complexity of his skin, he damn near has the same skin complexion as Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson. Like they're both
he
very
literally
tan. He has the
literally-
signature like wavy hair that the Polynesians do.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I really feel like they just took a guy off the street and was like, "Hey, do you think you have any Japanese in your family heritage? Okay, cool.
I mean,
We're gonna get you to play E Honda."
he does state in the movie that he's Hawaiian. Like that's a line he says. I don't know. Maybe they just say it to cover themselves, but like
He's
I
like wearing it.
Yeah, they definitely did that to cover themselves
yeah.
because and then when he's fighting, he just randomly starts getting E Honda's face paint that he has in the games, like throughout his fight with Zangief, and I'm like, how? Where is this supposed to be blood? Why is this perfectly Japanese kanji? This is upsetting me. And it was. I really only watched it for Gomez and Jean-Claude Van Damme. Like they were the true stars of the movie.
Yeah, I would agree with that for sure. And like Jean-Claude Van Damme's acting is not good in this, but like it
He's
seems like it
trying.
fits. It seems like it's so bad that it's good, his acting. And then the guy who plays Lord Bison or whatever, like he is actually excelling the material. Like he's elevating the material. Like the material is like here, and he's like bringing it, pushing it up. And John Claude is just like riding it. Like he kind of knows what movies and but yeah,
So
those
then
are the
I have a
highlights.
question
And
now.
then Sagat exists.
How much
What?
do you guys think the budget for this movie was?
2 cents.
Oh my
No.
god.
It's something like 12 million. How about that? Probably more actually.
This should probably cost a lot.
Like
I don't
34
know.
million. I'll say that. 34.
I go
34?
with. I go 50 mil.
Yeah, I was
30,
with
50?
that.
What about you, Tony?
I was with Mateo. I'm thinking 50.
So
you gotta
Josh
think
is
of the-
actually close.
Is he?
It's 35.
Oh man, that 1 million. 1
And
million space.
It grossed 99.3 in box office.
What the fuck?
Damn.
Yeah, so it actually
could see that.
turned a profit. It's
I
a
mean,
film, and it's even though it's a bad film, it's still like how Josh said, it's a lighthearted, funny film. You
It's
can look
certainly a
at it
movie.
and you can call out every shot before it even happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It reminds me of like Power Rangers, and it's the same era,
Yes.
and like felt like a Power Rangers like movie. Like I would have loved this when I was like 5. This would have been my favorite movie, probably.
This would have been like, oh, this is so cool. This man has fucking magic feet. and he can fly through the air.
Yeah, exactly.
If,
But
if you're
I haven't
5
seen it.
and you're like fresh off playing the game, and you're like, oh, that's him. Oh my god, like, yeah, you're
Yeah.
like it just feels like. It
Yeah.
feels like 90% of the movie was just like, oh, let's just show this character. Let's show this character. Oh, that's Vega. Let's have him. He has the mask. He has the iconic mask. And it's like, okay.
Don't forget about the gauntlet, Tony. You can't forget that gauntlet.
Yeah. I mean, he actually did things in the movie. So
He was
cool.
useful to the plot, at least.
Yeah.
Him and
again?
Sagat. Everybody else,
The guy
you
with
could
the
have
claw.
honestly took
the
BJ,
claw.
Zangief,
Thanos.
Nighthawk, not Nighthawk, T-Hawk,
T-Hawk,
Blanca,
Cammy.
Dawson,
Cammy,
Cammy.
unfortunately.
You could have just had Guile, Jean-Claude Van Damme, and M. Bison, and I would have called that a movie. Like, fill in everybody else with as like extras and just make it about the two of them back and forth as like a kids' war movie.
But I thought Ryu was like the main character or something like that.
Yes, he is.
Ryu. Why do you feel so basic, bitch?
Because this movie is dumb.
No.
There's very few redeeming qualities for this movie. They planned a sequel in 2003 and canceled it because they knew it would flop.
Did they film it?
No, they didn't even film it.
Oh.
It got canceled in production.
I see.
So-
Was Jean-Claude like set to be in it again, or was it like a whole new cast?
I actually made sure to write down my notes this time.
So 9 years after the movie got released, they decided to make the second one.
Yeah,
so they didn't follow. That was stupid because
Oh yeah, it's too long. That's way too long.
It's too long of a movie period.
There is a movie, Street Fighter: The Legend of Chun-Li from 2009.
We don't talk about that one either.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Was
that
that
I wanted. You know what? I was
a
looking at
series.
that because the girl who plays Lana Lang in Smallville, Kirsten Crook, she plays that character in that, and I was like looking. I was like, it always like came on my radar just because I'm a Smallville fan, and I like that actress. And I never watched it. I never put myself to watch it, but it doesn't look good.
Yeah,
I thought it was a show.
It's something.
No, it was a movie.
Sounds like you watched it.
Did you watch it?
Michael Clark Duncan's in it.
I watched 30 minutes of it, and I just couldn't do it. I wasn't into it.
Yeah, I like Kirsten Crook. I think that's how you say her name. I like her, but that looked really bad.
So speaking of Street Fighter, Tony, who did you always play in Street Fighter? Because I always played Dawson because he could teleport and do the stretchy arms.
Oh, you're toxic. You do the yoga fires from across the map. You're toxic.
Toxic.
Toxic. I don't know. I don't know. I played Ryu because I just knew the moves pretty easily. I don't know. I wanted to play Zangief because I like throwing people, but it was just kind of hard to input the throws.
I tried playing Ryu, but I could never figure out the simple button command for the Hadouken. I was like, screw that.
I played Adon. There's a character Adon in Street Fighter 4 I tried to play, and he has like a stick, and he was really hard. But he's not in this because he was a new character for Street Fighter 4. And I was actually put in some... Oh, no. Adon's not the stick guy. That's a different guy. Adon does like kicks. He's a Muay Thai fighter. So I played him, but he's far past this movie.
I kind of like our screen here. The left side is the Street Fighter players, and the right side is the non-players of this game.
Yeah.
Crispy, if you play Street Fighter 100%, you would play M. Bison because he has that evil laugh.
No. I
don't know who I'd play as. I have to play the game now.
I haven't played that game in forever, and I remembered when I was little and I play the arcade game, I'll just choose a random fucking guy and lose.
Yeah,
so
that's what I would do. I think that's literally the last time I played it was at the arcade like that. Like I
Yeah.
never played it on like a system.
Yeah, I never really owned it.
No.
Like
I
my
feel like
house.
Josh would probably play Guile just because of the fucking flat top, and he'd be like, maybe this might help me be more aerodynamic or something. I don't know.
Oh, is that the Van Damme character?
Yeah, that's the Van Damme
Yeah,
character.
that's the
Yeah.
Van
Yeah,
Damme
fair.
character.
He's
Yeah,
supposed to have a
American
flat
He's
top that
also-
high.
He's also pretty easy to use. I just never got into using him.
Mm. I wish he looked more like Jean-Claude. Than the hair looks stupid. I'm looking at it. I'm like, this looks really dumb. I'm kind of glad he didn't have that dumb.
No, I
I
like that.
wish
He
he did.
does the
I do
his
wish he
animation.
did.
He does the thing with the comb.
I get it in a video game. I'm just saying, like, I'm glad he didn't have that hair in the movie.
I wish he
It definitely
had
would
that
have
in the movie.
translated. Because look at the monster. If they can't pull that off, they're definitely not going to be able to pull
Yeah.
They did.
What bothered
They
me
pulled
about
it
the
off with Lou
monster-
Ferrigno.
off. Yeah, really. Yeah, Lou Ferrigno's forgotten aborted child. Like,
They honestly should have paid Lou Ferrigno to be Blanca. That would have worked a lot better.
That would have
that would have been
worked.
kind of cool.
He
like,
had the size.
he
It
definitely
made me
has
really
size.
mad.
He still has a size. He's still huge.
Yeah, isn't he still like on a like less intense, workout regimen, but still like as
Yeah,
jacked as he
yeah.
used to be?
He's still jacked.
I think isn't he in better shape than Arnold now?
He
Maybe.
was. Now it's like kind of comparable. Because
Okay.
Arnold let himself go when he was like governor and all that.
Yeah.
But, like, I think now since Arnold's practically retired, like I think all he does is work out and like
Yeah, I
He's
saw a
homie.
picture of him back in the gym.
yeah. So now it's comparable. But like even like maybe 10 years ago, Ferrigno was in better shape. But
I would still say Ferrigno's in better shape. Because it doesn't even, after he started slowing down, he still kept up his same workout.
he did keep
That's
it
neither
up.
here nor there.
Yeah.
So,
So-
Tony, what are your final thoughts and reviews about this movie, Street Fighter 1994?
It was really campy in like a way that was kind of cool sometimes, but it was a little annoying. Like I could tell that the movie just did not care. They were like, let's check all the boxes, let's get this money, and like kind of just make fun of it while we're doing it. I don't know. They had to. There's no way they had like a fight stick to control the minds and not have that as a joke. They made a couple weird jokes. The joke in the prison was a weird sexual joke I didn't expect in a kids movie.
I don't even
And then
remember.
What
he's
joke?
like, oh, so they're like locked up. And he's like, can you give me a hand with this? And he's like, not now, maybe a month. He's like, we've only been here for like 10 minutes, maybe in a month. or something
Oh
like
yeah.
that. Yeah, it was something. I was like, all right.
I
Anyway, yeah.
I didn't think
Blanco
that
was
a
upsetting.
sex
He
joke.
didn't have any lightning. That was pretty fucking stupid. 3 out of 10.
I don't
thought-
blame you, Tony. I was at least expecting, well, maybe they'll give Blanca some really bad lightning effects. He didn't even
He
do
didn't
that.
have anything.
Yeah. Well, someone got thrown at like some machine and there was lightning effects. So I was like, maybe that's how he gets his lightning powers. And then no, the extent of him was like, oh, I'm gonna shoot you in the head. And Dalsum, who also
He
doesn't
didn't-
have yoga fire or stretchy arms, is like, don't kill him. He's not an abomination. Blah blah blah. blah. And that's it. It's like, okay.
The Blanca
Yep.
didn't even do like his signature pose where he's just
Yeah.
hunched over and just grunting and growling. I'm like,
Yeah.
what
Does
the
he
hell is
die?
this?
Is he dead at the end of the movie? Because he's not like at the end scene,
I have
Well,
no idea.
I
would
think
say
they
yes.
just hate,
right?
I don't
they
think
just hate
he's
him.
dead.
They don't want him there. They just hate him. They're like, get out of the picture.
Yeah. Well, Jean-Claude was going to shoot him in the head, and I kind of did because
Yeah.
that would have been like
That would have been
moments.
another highlight of the movie.
Yeah, for sure.
Josh, what are your final thoughts and reviews for the movie?
Basically what Tony said. It was campy, like at times where it was like fun, but like then it was just campy and it sucked, So like it kind of like outweighed each other. It wasn't like one, like the campiness on one side was better than the other. It was just kind of like, I don't know. There was like some parts that were great, like Lord Farquaad, his performance was really good, and Jean-Claude Van Damme, like I liked him. All the other characters I didn't really give a shit about. I liked what's her name? Who plays Mulan? Now I gotta actually say her actual name. Ming-Na Wen. I'm probably saying that wrong. The actress who plays Chun-Li, she I think her acting was pretty hokey, but I think she knew what kind of movie she was in as well. I think she obviously proved herself to be a good actress in other sources of medium. So like, I don't blame her. I don't really blame any of the actors for like their hunky, pokey acting. Really, like I said, Gomez was the only one who elevated the material to something like greater than it was. Yeah, I'd probably give this movie. It felt like Power Rangers movie. I'd probably give this movie like a 4 out of 10. It was fun, but yeah.
Matt?
I don't even know. I was so thrown off with this whole thing. Like it's like everyone's saying it's funny, it's stupid, it's goofy, and it wasn't like it's garbage, but it's not garbage at the same time. But like
Yeah.
it's like it like if they just written the script better for the actors like to throw like do things better with like the lines, I feel like could have been better. And I wish they kind of like expanded with more of the characters instead of just rushing them in. It was just too action than just like plot filling. It's just go, 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 go. And I'm like, no, slow down, drop gear. Like they're just shoving that in 6 speed, and I'm like, bring me back to 2, because I don't know what the fuck's happening anymore for a new person to really well, not new, but still newish to Street Fighter, because you're not really explaining anything. Characters don't have powers technically that they're supposed to, and we're establishing their character in mid battle instead of just getting the gist of them a little bit prior. Like we could have got at least the news group could have got a better explanation, and Ken and Ryu could have had a better relationship set up prior to that. But they didn't do a real build up to it. Like Van Damme and Gomez, they're probably like everyone's saying like the 2 highlights. Character was it costume design changes? I kind of didn't like how they did some of the costume designs. I do accept the one of the military girl, but other than like everyone else's, like kind of like just felt weird. Like, why did you change some of them up? I kind of want to recast Ken's actor, because he just felt kind of like just meh to me. I would go with a 4 like Josh, but I do say I kind of did like the camera for it was more clear. It wasn't too gritty looking. They made sure like a lot of it was like in focus enough for you to see things. Not like to our next subject, a lot of that stuff is kind of like here and there grittier. To this was more just like more like it had a cleaner slate than like the other movie that we're going to be discussing. Like I feel like if they added more grit to the film style, I feel like it'd been a little bit better to say to me. But
it just looked like a cheesy television
show
from the 90s.
I'll give it that. I give it a 4.
Yeah, but before we continue with Jerry, Matt just reminded me of 2 things. I just wanted to bring up like the costumes. Obviously, I brought it up a little bit ago, like with the red camo and the blue camo. I literally drew a picture of that, like when I was in 2nd grade, depicting the bad soldiers and the good soldiers. Like that's how a child who's 7 years old would depict good guys and bad guys, and that's how they did it in this movie. And the second thing when Matt was saying like they put it on 6 speed with the fights at the end, and like you can't really keep up like what character is what, and like it doesn't really matter. The only fight that mattered at the end was the Gomez fight.
That's it.
Gomez
That
fight.
was it.
Yeah, that was it. And honestly, I was too bombarded with all these fights. I just fast forward to Lord Bison's like stuff. I was like, fuck
Like-
this. I don't care.
The E Honda crap was broken up into 3 fucking segments, interrupted by like 4 other fights at the same time. It gets kind of weird. It's like 4th installment you see on a TV fucking screen. It doesn't really count, but like whenever you actually see him on a real camera shot, it just gets interrupted but he gets transitioned out of it with something new. So it was like, there's no. I literally saw his first part when he slammed the fucker. He died, so I gave up on him for a second.
Yeah.
It sounded like, and I was like, oh, they dead. So they just fell into a grinder.
Yeah, exactly.
What about you,
So
Jerry?
I'm gonna agree with what everyone has said. Thus far, the movie has its charm to it. It does.
Yeah.
It does. It does.
It's a video game movie. That's supposed to be the appeal of it. Definitely, some actors and the script should be changed because I feel like if you have Van Damme, you need to give him a fucking action flick style movie. That's what he was back in the day. He was an action star. Because in the fucking Expendables 2, when he came in, he gave Sylvester Stallone 2 Van Damme kicks back to back. Bam, bam, baby.
But the thing is, you're bringing up a different situation in that one. He's fucking villain. He was the villain.
The Van Damme kick, and he should do it.
I understand, but he was the villain.
And I think this movie is really fucking dumb for some of these jokes and little small innuendos they make.
Yeah.
Because obviously, while they were shooting, Van Damme saw Fa Mulan and was like, "Oh, hey, she's kind of cute. I wonder if she would want to, go grab a coffee and stogie after we're done recording or some shit. I don't know."
Yeah.
And the fact that they just jam so many characters from the franchise in this movie with no explanation as to who they are, what they even do, I think is the laziest thing you could fucking have done. And I'm giving this movie a 2 because I like a lot of these characters from playing the game, and they only really did. I'm gonna say they did Sagat pretty good because he is kind of like a background fighter. He's not always up front. But I'm giving this a 2. It made me very mad and uncomfortable in some situations. And I still think them having everyone's victory pose at the end of a match as the final shot in the movie is dumb. It's so fucking dumb. I literally had that scene paused for 2 minutes, and I'm like, I know they did not just kind of Dawson's Creek this with some kind of big happy ending, like they averted a catastrophe.
They did.
Bison was a broke bum. He made his own currency that was worthless. He obviously wasted his life savings on that magic suit to bring him back to life when he should have invested in, I don't know, fucking Apple or something. Or Macintosh, whatever it was at the time.
Jerry,
I think this movie's a 2, and it pissed me off a lot.
Jerry, got a question. Is this the first time watching this?
Yes.
Okay. All right.
Tony,
that makes more sense.
I just found your link that you sent us. Was that an actual video game?
Yeah, they made Street Fighter the movie the game.
They did.
And
I didn't want to.
It's just worse. It's just worse
I'm
than
looking
Street
at it.
Fighter.
It's just like clips of the movie.
It's just Street Fighter, but bad. I don't know why they did it.
Oh, they actually
so
use
bad.
they use the character models. Like it looks like Jean-Claude Van Damme.
Yeah, well, they did it.
Yeah.
I mean, this is like Mortal Kombat style Street Fighter.
Yeah, it is
You're
Mortal
talking
Kombat.
about like Mortal Kombat 3
so
style?
dumb.
No, like original Mortal Kombat, where like pictures, like they take photographs of people and then they animate it. That's weird.
No, because in Mortal
I-
Kombat 3, they projected the actors like their style look to the movie into the game.
I guess I don't know.
There's that was
I
for the
man-
second
that-
movie.
It wouldn't let me click your link, Tony, so I had to manually type out.
Oh, God. But Tony, I want to go back to your that prison joke you're talking about. I thought he was making a joke because they're trying to pull the fucking bar. I thought that he was saying, "Give me a few more days because he's in prison. He was gonna work out more so he can get the work."
No,
the
that was
prison
a
bod."
sex joke.
Yeah,
Was this
That
okay?
was a handy
That
joke.
was a sex joke. That was
Uh,
getting handy.
You
A handy
know,
behind the dumpster of Applebee's.
the one thing I want to say is I kind of thought the ending screen was actually kind of charming when they did all the poses. I actually liked it.
That just drove me crazy. I'm like, you don't even one of these people didn't really do a fucking thing the whole movie, and the
That
other
is
guy
very
just
true.
slapped a half-naked Russian around. And I'm
No,
like,
what the half-naked Russian was in the poses. He was there
Yes.
with them, and he was the part of the
Yes, he
enemy.
was.
They
And-
all had the victory pose against Lord Bison. They all won in the end. 'cause
Except for Blanca, because he's a mutant freak that should have been put down.
yeah, he
He
just
should have been shot in the head.
been.
But now that we made it through this travesty,
Oh,
we can
God.
get into something a little bit different. And Tony,
Mhm.
I wanted to save this for April, as you know, like, oh, this is the episode me and Tony came on. So I was going to have you do it. But I was like, Street Fighter, the movie, what the hell is that? So I picked it for this. And I think it's a very good comparison in hindsight now. So, Tony, if you would please regale us with a synopsis for Mortal Kombat, the 1995 film.
So, Mortal Kombat 1995, classic. So Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, and Sonya are all doing their own things, and they both get kind of finessed into joining the Mortal Kombat tournament. I think Earth has to win, or else it gets fucking exploded. I don't remember the exact terminology, but the Earth is fucked if they lose, because it's like the 10th in a row that they would lose. And yeah, not what was I saying? Oh yeah, no, Sonya's there to like kill Kano. I forget. I think Liu Kang is there because of his brother was killed by Shang Sung and also got finessed by Rayden, who we'll talk about. And then Johnny Cage is there on pure ego, and then they're going through the tournament and they're fighting a couple of the classic people. And then it gets to the end, and then Shang Tsung pulls some shit, and yeah.
Thank you, Tony.
Classic
That
iconic
synopsis was a
fights.
10 out of 10.
Yeah, you could basically say it's the Enter the Dragon plot and add Mortal
Yeah.
Kombat to it. And that's what.
Yeah, I mean that's how these movies be. I mean that's what Street Fighter the movie should have been. I thought Street Fighter was about a street fighting tournament also, but I guess
Yeah,
we lost
that's true.
No, it's about saving a country from a broke dictator who had no sense of monetary value.
that.
Yeah, he had his Lord Bison.
So, Matt, what do you think about Mortal Kombat 1995 and how Sleepy Joe is really Lord Rayden? I know at one point you were thinking it.
I've been
I
thinking
know it.
that Rayden was fucked the whole time since it first came out. When I saw, well, the first time I seen it. Let's say that first time I seen it. I've seen this movie a bunch of times. Like I didn't even need the. In my head, I was like, I don't need to rewatch this. But after watching Street Fighter, and I'm just like, they did a good, decent job trying to do this movie idea. All right, let me actually watch freaking Mortal Kombat again to make sure what I remember is correct. A lot of it, I'm not gonna lie, I watched that thing and I said, okay, this was better than Street Fighter because I'm not gonna say lie. The Mortal Kombat series of movies they had wasn't the best, But at least they gave you character development and they introduced you with their characters and like gave you like reasoning why they're fucking there. Instead of just being like, you're there, you're there, you're there, you're there. Other than like the one person I didn't want them to actually have in that was Reptile. I played Reptile a lot when I was a kid. I wasn't the best.
suck.
I enjoyed playing as him, but I wasn't the best. But like when I saw him in the movie, because I'm so used to him in ninja form, I never fucking really knew this fucking shitty CGI creature was Reptile the whole time until he fucking got on stage like as the ninja, and you're like, okay, that's him now. Instead of just being the shitty raptor that ran around the whole fucking movie. I thought he died. For some reason, my memory thought he was in 2, not 1 really, because
Oh yeah.
No.
no, he was in 1.
Skybot's in 2.
Sleepy Joe Rayden.
Sleepy
What?
Joe Rayden pisses me off.
They picked the wrong actor to be Rayden because Rayden is not supposed to be a Caucasian male that will just randomly just show up with his locks of hair. He doesn't even have the hat. He doesn't even have the right setup.
His
He
voice
doesn't-
too is
The
atrocious.
voice sucked. I
They
hated
just
it.
seem like someone's dad.
Rayden's like kind of
sunset.
like Rayden's like a teacher, and he's supposed to give you like literally like words of wisdom. He can be kind of sarcastic a little bit, but not that much. And this movie he just felt sarcastic the whole time when he's trying to teach you a lesson. It didn't feel right. It really didn't. Like with that character, they kind of like felt like they dropped the ball a lot. But I kind of like accept the way the route they went, and I kind of enjoyed it. I'm not like I'm gonna say this is amazing, but it's not. Rayden had a nice wig.
The wig
You're right.
was nice.
I wish I
no,
had his
crispy.
long hair.
No, not crispy. I'm sorry. So, Josh,
Oh man.
have you seen
Okay.
the 1995 Mortal Kombat?
No, I haven't seen either one of these movies, and to be honest, I probably like half watched this movie. So,
You probably have.
I watched it all. I watched it, but I don't know what was happening.
No, you
What's
probably-
going on?
So, this one compared to the reboot of Mortal Kombat, which do you prefer?
Out of the
Josh?
two,
Out of the two,
probably the new one. I just remember more of it, and I literally just watched this movie, and I feel like I already.
no, that's a fair
but-
answer. You did just watch this one.
But yeah. What was the raptor thing that you're talking about, Matt?
That's
was,
Reptile.
was it supposed to turn into like the Predator and turn invisible and shit? Was he invisible?
He's technically he's a ninja, so he's supposed to have the cloaking ability to do his own ninja stuff, but he's supposed to be a reptile at the same time. I've seen the bronze. Damn it, Dennis! We do
Read
not
out
support
loud,
that
man.
kind of stuff.
No, I'd rather not get a coffee strike tonight.
Yeah, me either. Dennis, you downloaded the correct but wrong edition.
That might be the superior one. I don't know. I haven't
Probably.
seen it.
But
Those actors and actresses probably have a better time doing it.
Yeah. I liked what's her name? I like not Ferris Bueller.
Sonya.
I liked Billy Madison's girlfriend. I liked her. That's all I have to say.
There was one part. There was like one part where the CGI. I don't know. They really tried with the CGI in this movie, and it was a little early for that, to be honest.
The movie was honestly made way ahead of what the technology they needed was available.
Yes.
And
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, it's not the perfect movie, but for what they did with what they had, I would say they hit a lot of nails without missing too many checks.
No, I
except
agree.
with Sleepy Joe Rayden.
At
'Cause
least
even
we
as
got
a kid,
her-
a grown man coming up to me behind and whispering in sweet nothings in my ear made me uncomfortable.
But at least we got their right abilities came out of them. Instead of just being like, they did a move, we're supposed to know what it is, but it's a
Yeah,
move.
they did the moves. Like
least-
I liked how
Yeah.
Scorpion actually implemented the chains
Yeah.
coming out of his hands. Like even though like
Yeah.
the effect kind of looked kind of cheesy in today's standards, like at least they attempted it. And I didn't understand when the chain hit the tree. Why was the tree bleeding? Was it like the universe that we're in, or like what was going on?
I think
that
that
was
was
the
the
odd-
so I think the head of the chain was a living being,
And
even though it's usually just a standard like kunai with on a
Yeah.
thread. And you know, since
Okay.
he's an undead demon, you know, it was like, oh, well, let me just find something else of the same caliber but better, kind of
Well,
thing.
is that
So it's
canon like in the game too? Like,
What?
or is that just in the movie?
That's just
What?
Or
for
it's
the
like a
movie.
living. Oh, okay.
Oh, the blade.
In the
thing?
game, it's always
Yeah.
just like a metal kunai on a chain.
Yeah, that's what I
usually
figured.
how it does.
That's
I was
what I was
actually
confused about. Okay.
I was surprised they didn't try going with the skull and breathing fire tech ability he used. Was it finisher he does? He has
They
a
did.
finisher. He ripped off his mask and he like has a skull that's basically becomes Ghost Rider and just
Yeah.
melts your body with it. What the hell is Dennis saying now?
He
I don't
did do it, but he got clapped like as soon as he did it,
Oh,
which was
Dennis
kind of
got
funny.
clapped.
Fair, I had.
okay. All right.
Not
Tony.
quite what I was saying, but okay.
Dude.
So Tony, this is something I've actually wanted your opinion on.
Yeah.
So how do you feel about the call outs they did as far as, you know, fatality and flawless victory in the 95 as opposed to the 2020?
I don't really remember how they did it in 2020. It felt like a lot in 95. I liked it. I liked Shang Sung saying it, but I feel like they did it a little much.
God.
I didn't like one thing I noticed. I didn't like that they played the theme song twice. Like I
That theme song was a banger, bro.
It's a
They should
banger,
play
but
the
It
whole
is a
movie.
banger.
It is.
But it's like,
Sorry.
I understand them doing the beginning, but the random fight against the goons,
yeah,
I could have done without it.
I think they could have just saved it like for the end and just been like, oh shit, like this is the fight. Like we got to play the fucking bangers. Maybe come up with some original hype music for like the middle fights. I don't know.
It's Mortal Kombat, man. Mortal Kombat.
Yeah.
Mortal Kombat.
I'm gonna skip to the end.
These hours.
So for me, I actually love this movie a lot. Like Crispy, at first I wasn't gonna rewatch it at all because I've watched it so many times throughout the years. The only thing I would need is just kind of a refresher on just some of the, you know, camera work and some of the scenes that I really wanted to see. But outside of that, you know, I almost know the movie scene for scene.
Mhm.
Because definitely one of my favorite scenes was the first time that you see Shang Sung use his soul snatching ability and how it just shows, like, it just goes through all the layers of the dude, like his muscle, then his organs, and then his bones.
Mhm.
And then he's like, okay, now we've made it to the essence. And we'll just have this weird infrared color effect. I don't know what they were going for, but you know, obviously it symbolized him dying. And I was just thinking to myself, that's kind of nice for how they were doing it. Because even if you don't fully understand what he can do, you understand like, oh, he's reaching to the essence of a person.
Mhm. No,
And then
I kind of did
Oh,
like
go
that in
ahead.
the first. No, like I'm going to agree with. Like I liked how they did do that with the first fighter he absorbed, and how he just went cold and just just basically they symbolized how he died. I was like a nice add to it. Other than oh, we just took his soul and you just don't know what the fuck really he's really doing other than just like doing a weird magic thing.
also the fucking automatron for Goro scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, that's the best part of the
it's
fucking
so
movie.
like it does look like Goro.
Uh-huh.
So it's doing its job, but it's just the movements on it, and just that thick leathery skin. Just
Yeah, it almost like reminds me of stop motion, even though it's not a stop motion puppet. Just kind of like how it moves, like
how
those,
stiff
like,
it
So
is.
different. Yeah.
Yeah, I like that though. That was
Like-
my favorite stuff. Was just Goro.
Like
The Goro's
I
the
loved
best
it,
thing.
but the animatron for it, I'm just like, oh god, this is so
I
fucking
loved it.
scary now.
I loved how it looked.
I would be
great.
terrified to see what that thing looks like now.
Yeah, it's
Oh,
probably all deteriorated. I mean,
disgusting.
you see the Ninja Turtles like costumes from the '90s now. They're like
Oh my
falling
god,
apart.
yeah.
And it's
There's
like, probably like
don't
that.
forget about the dragon from Neverending Story.
We don't bring that up.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Wait,
yeah.
what? Does it look bad?
It looks terrifying.
It's
Deteriorating. We looked it up.
Tony. It looks like a cursed video that Matt might find on Instagram. And
Shut up!
to
You
every
send
day.
them to me every day, more than 5 times. I don't need to see these cursed videos more than 5 times a day. A day.
Did Stan Winston's team, Matt? Do you know? Did the Goro suit?
Yeah, Stan Winston's team
thought
did the
they
Goro.
I thought they did, yeah.
I kind of like, the funny thing is, I kind of like there's in the beginning when we meet Johnny Cage, and after he does his fight scene, he's like, fuck it, I'm leaving. The director kind of reminds me of fucking Steven Spielberg, of how they dressed him up and gave him the beard and everything.
I was thinking that was Spielberg
kinda-
because I got the same vibe. Because I'm like,
It's
this
not,
just
definitely
feels.
not. I looked
But
it
you
up.
know,
and
it's the feel of it.
It's definitely an act, like a legitimate actor. But I love how the character's just director. He doesn't have a real name. He's just director because he only in there for like 5 seconds.
We
I
don't
thought they'd
need
give
to
him
know
something.
every single character. We got a lot more of the main people than I honestly give this movie credit for. Because we got Liu Kang, Johnny Cage, Rayden. Hell, they even mentioned Jax briefly in the beginning.
Well, yeah, he was part of
Yeah.
the squad.
And then when we got to Shang Sung, Kano, Goro, Kitana, and the actress who played Kitana was a fox back then. I don't know what she looks like now. And then who else? We got to see Shao Kahn very briefly, albeit.
I'm
and
actually
then-
surprised we didn't get Baraka at that time.
I think Baraka's in the second
He's in
one,
the second
but we
one
don't talk
because-
about the second.
because they duplicate the fuck out of Baraka in the second one. They just have multiples of him. He's like their army soldiers, like their undead soldiers.
Yeah.
Shit.
And then even so, for me, a lot of my favorite scenes in the movie came from Scorpion and Sub-Zero. Because even though some of the fight scenes, not scenes, but sequences were obviously, like, all right, they didn't want to use a rig, so they're having the people that, the extra do their best to, take the hits and just, fall and make it look believable. Definitely as goofy and cheesy as it is, it just feels so authentic. Because, it's like, all right, they're trying their hardest to make this as believable as they can. And you can only do so much. Like when Sub-Zero did the spring kick to Liu Kang's chin. And, like, it zooms in and then does, like, this fucking wide shot. So, you miss the kick. But I'm like, okay, that takes a lot of real effort to do that. And then, like with Sub-Zero, like with Scorpion, when he took his face off, like in the movie Face Off with Nicolas Cage and John Travolta, whoever the actor is that they have, still holding up the head and everything, he's still trying to make it believable. Like, oh, Scorpion is still, watching and watching and trying to visualize what to do next on the battlefield.
Yeah. No, I do
And
appreciate
then-
what they did with a lot of them. Including, I liked how they did sorry to cut you off there. I do like how they at least establish that they're enemies, but thanks to the soul bond, they have to work as a team in this movie. Other than, like, they are enemies, but they work together. And like no, like they're I control the fuck out of them. There's no reason for them to be actually fighting like with each other. They should be killing each other right now
Mhm.
because Sub-Zero, no, Sub-Zero kill wow. Scorpion's his clan, then Sub-Zero kills no. Scorpion's kills Sub-Zero, and Sub-Zero's brother comes up and tries to kill Scorpion. And that's like the history set up. Because technically in the second movie, we're supposed to get the second Sub-Zero or some
Yeah, Noob
shit.
Saibot. I
Yeah.
think we see him or they mention him briefly.
And then we had crew cut Rayden in that one too.
Now, let's not forget that this movie also gave us the best scene that you could have ever filmed. When Sonya Blade had her fucking thighs wrapped around Kano's neck and she just fucking twisted it and killed him.
Yeah.
That's what I was gonna say. Yeah,
She didn't stop with that. She just went forward. She did not like hesitate.
that was
Like,
literally
you're
the
dead.
one scene. That scene and like the scene in the forest with Scorpio and Johnny Cage were the two things I always remember about this movie. Like every time I like forget everything else other than hating Rayden.
Like honestly, those are some of the most memorable scenes. Because number one, you have Sonya Blade. So she's this petite athletic military chick fighting Kano, who's obviously, this big brawler. He's obviously got an extra 150 pounds on her, so he should win easily.
Mm-hmm.
And then we all know Kano doesn't play fair. He fights dirty. Like, because in the beginning, he straight up pulled out a knife and was trying to slice her up. And she was like,
He didn't.
your knife's done. And now, break your neck.
Like,
Which was honestly something I was expecting out of the Street Fighter movie with Cammy. But, we've already talked about that and how she was just there for the bazooka scene. But it's like, even though they didn't do a lot with Sonya, the stuff she was in and there for, you're like, yeah, I remember she was an active part of the story. She wasn't just kind of there to hang around and whatever.
Yeah. I like that. I like that Johnny Cage has like a nut punch, and then he like drops the autographed picture. Like that's very Johnny Cage.
but
yeah, because that's another one of his fatalities too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Well, I did like how Johnny Cage did react to giving him a nut punch. He's like, I just punched that guy in the nut, that creature from another world's nuts, and my hand's almost broken from it too. He's like, I should have done that.
Yeah.
But like, I want to talk about like Kano in this movie. I don't like Kano in this movie.
Yeah, I like the
him.
other one
I like
better.
the other one better because at least he's stupid in the other one, but he's more quick and like he has a more
He's
like
more quick-witted and
quick-witted. He actually kind of thinks things out, and he's not gonna like. He's just not like stupid. In this one, he's a really coward. He's a real big coward, and like he's just stupid. They kind of play him off as a caveman because like the real like most like screen time we already see of him is when he's eating and Garo's like talking to him. He's just chowing down on a fucking turkey leg, and then he fucking throws it like an idiot, and then Garo's come up to him and he's just like getting more scared and pissing himself. But to symbolize pissing himself, Garo just knocks wine into his crotch like you're a bitch.
Now, I agree up to the point. I do like the new Kano they had a lot better, but this one did something. The old one did something the new one couldn't do, which was capture. We all know Kano is slimy.
Yeah.
And he does some wicked and vile shit. And when I see this guy, I'm like, yeah, he's definitely killed a cat at one point in his childhood. Or, yeah, he's definitely took a purse from an old lady, Like how he presents Kano definitely fits what we know about Kano. Except for, the quick-wittedness and the combat savviness.
Yeah. And then like another thing I hated was like about Kano, like they kind of mentioned like what's his name, the wizard, the sorcerer. He says like, don't make me take your eye, because like I'm like, but the robotic eye is a laser / real eye to him. So if you take his other eye, he would still be seeing things. You just give him another robotic. A reason
I
why
don't
to have
think
another
that was
robotic
ever
eye.
caught while the script was written because I'm like, that doesn't make sense because Kano can see out of that eye.
Yeah, and he shoots beams at it. That's another thing we didn't utilize was the laser beam charge. At least do something with it, but we really didn't. We just get more glaring. It wasn't really like a thing.
Well, they had to save the budget for that for the new one.
Okay. All right.
But
I just wanted to go back to Goro for a second. So I did look it up. It was the Stan Winston team who did the costume. If you don't know, Stan Winston team is also, you could thank them for creating the alien costume, the animatronics for Jurassic Park, Terminator, basically every good animatronic that you could think of in movies, they did. And the Goro stuff, like, I thought it was like pretty impressive when he was like moving around and stuff. And I was like, okay, what are they gonna do? How are they gonna make him fight? And then they get to this fight, and like I was not very impressed with what they did. I was kind of hoping like he would like be utilizing all four arms, like punching like four people at once kind of thing, and like fighting like so many people. But I understand they have the limitations with the costume and stuff, and animatronic. But like, you know, he has four arms. I kind of wish they utilized that and like you know, kind of thought outside the box, like kind of what to do with this character, you know. And
like
then
you
instead
trying
he just falls.
Like you trying to get him to do that would be just him doing clay stop motion more with him.
That would have been fine. I would have been.
I would have been fine with that.
I know.
That would be kind of cool.
He already looks like a stop motion.
I know, but I'm
character,
just saying, like,
so
it would be
matter.
that'd be just a new twist to it. Would be more stop motion instead of just utilizing the puppet that they had.
They could have done both. That's what they did with King Kong. They did
both.
You know, I don't know. I just wish they utilized like more that he has four arms.
That is, I'm glad Josh brought that up because I do wish they obviously, you know, by the time we get to Goro fighting, the movie's kind of at the halfway point of being done. So, you know, it's either go big or go home. But I feel like if they tried to go big, it might have blown up in their face. Like, okay, well, we tried to do too much with the animatronic, and now we're having some electrical failure. Like, I understand completely what Josh means, and I agree wholeheartely. But it's, you know, for what we got with Goro, I did want more because as a kid, he's four arms, probably fucking 1,200 pounds, 0% body fat. You know, obviously this dude is wrestling rhinoceroses for you know, day-to-day training. So it was like I do agree. Like, I did want more because obviously, you know, when the random dudes were getting knocked down and stuff, that was Goro using all four arms, like kapow, chop, kick, and you know whatnot.
Yeah, like Batman.
Like Batman. He might know Batman. They might.
No, I mean like the Batman, like the Batman, like Pams and Pals, like just like put those in there, like the '60s ones. That's how they could have got away with it. When he went to punch, they just put a big fucking pow on the screen.
That's a good idea.
You should now one fight that I hated personally was Lui Kang versus Shang Sung. Like, I know that's, you know, the final fight and what the movie was gearing up toward.
Oh, yeah.
But it was just too cheesy for me. Like, even, you know, as a kid, I liked it because I was like, oh, Lui Kang is going to, you know, he does the bicycle kick. And, you know, he bicycle kicked them all the way to the bottom of the tower, which, you know, is symbolic for game over. And I was like, oh, this is cool. Why do I need to see his brother and all these other dead souls, you know, again?
I kind of hated when he said flawless. To me, it wasn't a flawless victory. It was he got his ass whipped and like the whole
and came back on 1% health.
Yeah.
So who was like announcing? Like, who was saying like all these victory stuff? Like,
the characters themselves would just kind of mention it like they did in the 2020, but Shang Sung did a lot of it.
Thank you,
Like in the
Dennis.
beginning when Sub-Zero is fighting that goon and he freezes him, and Sub-Zero freezes him and he hits the stage and his body just disintegrates.
Yeah.
And Shang Sung is like, flawless victory. Because flawless victory means you didn't get touched. And then when Shang Sung takes the two souls of the gentleman who lost, he says fatality, because in Mortal Kombat 2, which this game is also based off of, both movies were based off the second game in their series.
Okay.
So that was a tie-in. He, Shang Tsung's fatality is the soul snatch, which he always says, is fatality and whatnot. And, for me, they did a lot right with the movie, because the guy, Johnny Cage, the amount of training I know he went through to be able to do a split is, I tip my hat to him.
Yeah.
Because in my yoga practice right now, I am still in a very high split. Like, I can't even get that low without my fucking hamstrings and quads saying, okay, you need to pull it back some. We're not here just yet. And he just hit the ground and boom, and got up with no problem. That man is incredibly flexible to do that. I just wanted to give him his due diligence, because as somebody who's trying to learn the split, that's, I always thought it was easy until, I started trying to do it. And I'm like, no, this is not easy.
Tony
Especially
does
as
splits.
Can you do splits, Tony?
No. No. I don't know where this is coming from. Josh, where is this coming from?
You do like, Muay Thai and stuff.
Josh
That's
says
not
it's true.
That's not true at all.
Oh, it is.
We went about the same amount of times.
That's true. Sorry.
About the same
Sorry, I
amount
didn't
of
mean to
time.
devolve this conversation.
But so one thing I am curious to see what you guys thought of. What do you think about like the visual effects as a whole? From the time we see, Rayden do his lightning bits and strikes to, Scorpion summoning the sentient kunai to Sub-Zero's freezing and everything in between.
I thought it was actually pretty decent for, obviously the time. I think it it still holds up to a degree. Obviously, it's not like the best of
It's not perfect, but it's something that works.
Yeah, I thought it was still like it worked. It wasn't like jarring where I was watching. I was like, oh, what the fuck? This is so gross, or like this looks so bad, or anything like that. I was like, yeah, there's times, but like it kind of worked for what they're going for. I think throughout the whole film, with all the effects going in, like I wish they utilized more practical stuff. They did a little bit. They did with Goro, and I love that stuff. I wish there was more of that. If there's like more of Goro, I think I would have loved this movie. But he's in it just enough to tickle my fancy with that. With those he kind of reminded me of the Ray Harryhausen Cyclops, which is another stop motion puppet. Like I think him implementing turning that character into a stop motion puppet wouldn't look jarring at all. And I think it would actually be hard to see with the human eye, the transition, because he already looks like a stop motion.
You could do quick cuts
creature
too.
Yeah, he already looks stop motion when he's a live action thing. So I think if I actually made him stop motion, it would have been fine.
The one character I would say would be more that would work for you with the practical would be Baraka, because he gets blades that come out, spikes that come out of his arms that are technically blades in a way, and his face is more demonized look.
Oh yeah, he's like a lizard thing, right?
Yeah, but so you can have the animatronic head movement and everything. But a lot of the other characters are more still human based. Other than what's the four-armed lady?
Oh, the female Goro. I know what you're talking about. I just can't think of her name.
Other than her, it's just
they use her so infrequently. I forget she exists in the universe.
Blimps in and out.
Yeah.
Do you know her name, Tony, by chance?
No, I don't need. Wait, is Sindel is someone else, right?
Sindel's in the second one, in the second movie.
Oh.
Yeah, they could have used that lizard face character that you're talking about.
But they utilized him in the second one, like I was saying, like more as like a soldier setup, and the
Does he
really
look?
bad
Uh,
kind of shit.
I think
Yeah.
if they what's his name, Baraka?
Baraka, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, if they like utilize that character and like they could have even just had like a regular actor and just like a Ninja Turtle head on him, you know, like with the
Well, like they kind of went with they kind
I
of
think
went
that
that
was-
way. They kind of went that way, but it was just really not really good budgeted to give them, including they had to multiply this creature for multiple actors to be in there. So like it kind of wasn't up to par at quality.
I see.
So it was just quick duplicates. It wasn't. I don't think the
Oh, I'm
second
looking
movie.
at it. Yeah, I'm looking at it. It's not terrible. I mean, it is terrible.
Yeah,
It's terrible.
it's terrible. It's the second movie. That one didn't get the right.
Yeah.
We
It fell off.
hated that one. As a
I'm looking-
community, we hate that
The
movie.
only thing I
Yeah.
liked about that one, we got Jax, and
Oh
Jax
my
is one of my other
God.
favorite. Jax is my other favorite Mortal Kombat character. So I used him up all the way up to like the newest, until we got his daughter in there.
Also,
Yeah,
you used Jax all the way up to Mortal Kombat 10.
Yeah, I liked him the best in Mortal Kombat versus DC. Though.
My favorite was Sub-Zero.
I think Baraka doesn't look that bad when they show. Like if you look at like the actual like the production pictures, it doesn't look that bad. But then when it's in lighting, it looks horrible.
Yeah,
for
when
some
you
reason.
zoom in,
Yeah.
when you zoom in on his face, then you could see the actor's face like in his mouth, and it's like, oh.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Now,
Yeah, I just
this
have like a
is
soft
the-
spot for creatures like that, so I just wish there was more.
This
That
is
was-
the true highlight that I think is going to surprise you guys the most. What do you guys think the budget for this movie was in comparison to Street Fighter?
I want to give this.
I would say it's more. I would say
I
I'll
want
say
to give
65.
All right,
I wanna
Josh said
go-
65.
10 mil.
10 million more than Street Fighter?
No, 10 million.
10 million in general.
Just in
Okay.
general.
I
What
don't
about you,
believe that.
Tony?
A low
I don't know. We
blow.
could go either way. We did some early CGI with this movie, so probably more. Let's say like 50.
So Matt's actually close. The budget for this was 20 million.
Interesting.
What the fuck?
Yeah.
It looks better than Street Fighter.
They utilized their budget probably better.
Now, you know what they made in box office? 122.2 million. It was the
Damn.
number one movie. It was like number one opening weekend. Like nothing else could top it. And I think
Damn.
another good movie came out around the same time. I'd let me go back to my notes.
I don't really know what came out. Movies came out in 1995.
Ninja Turtles
let's see.
5.
Oh, Casino came out. That's a good one.
Heat,
What was
Ghost
it,
in the
same
Shell,
time?
7.
7.
Oh, I'm
came
sorry.
out.
I had it wrong. It had the second highest box office in August after 1993's The Fugitive. So it did very well, like in a a demographic of over the years for the 90s.
Right, yeah. Makes sense.
Which I still think is absolutely just when I first looked that up, it blew me away. I'm like, this movie had less of a budget, but brought in more than a movie who came out a year prior with a higher budget. Because if you would have told me the budget in that movie was 35 million, I would call you a liar. Because this one looks like it would be, like Josh said, a couple million more, if not 50, because that's a lot of early CGI, and that stuff ain't cheap.
Yeah,
Especially,
and
the
stuff.
warping in the hand and like making portals and stuff. That stuff is not cheap, especially back then. Now that's, you can get a good content creator on YouTube to do the same thing for no money at all.
Yeah.
Facts.
There were some
When was-
awkward moments.
When was Jurassic Park released? 1993.
Yes,
I
93.
think
2
93,
years
yes.
before. So like, I mean, you kind of like give it some leeway with the CGI, but then you look at that movie which came out 2 years prior, and it's like that movie's looks amazing, like with the CGI. But they had like astronaut, like their budget was like way more than this movie. So I give it still a little leeway, but at the same time, the CGI in Jurassic Park still looks.
It's
like
still very
it
amazing.
looks like it came out today, basically. I think that those dinosaurs look better than they do in the new fucking movies. 'Cause
Yeah,
new movies
the
look
new
like
Star
garbage.
Wars is better than the old Star Wars.
That's not what I said at all. But okay.
Oh, that's not. Oh, I'm sorry.
He likes to do this to me. He likes to trigger me.
But does anybody have anything else they want to get into before I feel like it's a good time for us to close out?
I kind of want to state this. Instead of having Reptile in this one, I wish they had Smoke in it instead.
Smoke's in the second one, isn't he?
Smoke
and Rain?
I think so. Because they got rid of I think they're replacing Scorpion and Sub-Zero, I think, at that point. With like adding them in, because like to me, Reptile kind of like felt like it was one of the useless things, and they could have saved more of the budget instead of having this shitty Reptile running around. Knowing the budget,
I would have traded Reptile definitely for Baraka personally,
mm,
just because. I mean, for me, you have the two most famous characters of Mortal Kombat in here.
yeah,
That's plenty enough to cover your ninjas. Reptile was a cool addition, but
or
I felt he was unnecessary.
who's the guy with the sickles?
He just
Not
looks
the
like the
sickles. I
same
mean,
as the other ones.
who's the guy with the hooks with the mask?
Cabal, but I don't think
Cabal.
he was out yet. Yeah.
Yeah, Cabal didn't exist at the time yet.
No, he was in 3. Tony, your cat wants you.
Yeah, I know. She's a lot.
Tony's cat, please be chill for 5 minutes.
Yeah.
My cat Sophie is kind of the same way. I'm surprised she hasn't came up to me yet.
But Crispy, I definitely agree. Like, I'm not a big Reptile fan, but even like rewatching this now, probably for like, I think this is the 16th time I've watched this movie.
Yeah, I'm about the same on that.
I'm like,
The
I would have
16th time.
Holy shit.
Yeah, I watch this movie
comes
every
around.
so often. It comes
Oh
around.
my gosh! I don't think I ever want to watch this ever again.
Like Reptile in the new one, I like the Reptile form they gave him, but at the same time, we didn't even see him in ninja form. He died before we got to see him in ninja form. Bye, Tony.
Wait, Tony left.
You made us a
Tony
3.
I didn't do that. Tony left.
Tony.
I know.
Tony,
I hear you
where'd
on the
you go?
phone, but you're not in the thing.
But
Just click
yeah,
on the
so
link again.
yeah, it feels like every time we try to bring in the Reptile, we kind of just underutilize him, or we just don't give him enough form, like time in his other form. But yeah, and this
here
one
now.
we could have just like left him out of this one and just let him alone. I get he's kind of like his scout guy because he can blend in and hide and get away and shit. But it really doesn't. Pointless character.
Yeah.
I wish
I
Reptile
personally-
was a reptile the whole time. Then I would have been more into him.
Mm-mm.
He was a reptile in the new one, and it was just like everyone's like, "Oh, that's a reptile."
Reptar.
Reptar was called Reptar. Well, he was a giant green lizard creature.
Reptar.
Yeah, like a reptile was just like a random reptile creature that no one gave any dialogue, like anything to. So
Yeah, I would have
the
been
new
more
one.
into that.
So
I'm more into that. I don't even
Would
remember
anybody-
that new one.
Would anybody
Oh,
like to go ahead?
Run,
and
Tony,
get into
run!
the-
run, Tony, run!
Would anybody like to start their final thoughts and review? If
Yeah,
nobody
let me
does, I'll
start-
go first.
I have the least amount to say, so let me just say
Okay.
it now. This movie, I think the effects were pretty decent for the time and for the budget, especially. I mean, I wish there's more creature effects. I wish there's more creatures. Like Matt's saying, I guess like mostly Mortal Kombat characters are more humans, but like I just want more creatures. I want more Goro. I want more Goro in this movie, and I would like it so much better. Yeah, I don't think I'm ever gonna watch this ever again. And the tone, like I like the tone. I like. Let me take that back. I liked what they're going for with their tone. You know, they're taking it more seriously, and but all in all, I like Street Fighter more. I like Street Fighter was funner, and it didn't take itself so seriously. And like when I don't know, Lord Farquaad, what was his name? Lord Bison. Like he was just like chewing up the scenery so well, and I was just like so into that character that like there was like no one I was kind of like rooting for, like, oh, they're like elevating the material, or like they're kind of like having fun with the movie. It didn't. I mean, they took it more seriously. It didn't seem like anyone was like. I'm sure they were having fun on set, but it didn't seem like they're having as much fun as they were making Street Fighter. So if I was gonna like pick what movie to watch, I would watch Street Fighter over this. And that being said, I give this a 5 out of 10.
Okay.
Wait, you ranked it one higher. You ranked it one higher.
I think it's a better made movie.
Okay.
It is. I do agree.
Movie.
I do think it's a better made movie.
I think Street Fighter
definitely had the most fun.
Yes.
Jerry,
I agree with
I like Street Fighter more personally, but if I'm rating it as a critic, this is a better movie.
Okay.
This is a better made movie, but the other one's like shittier and funner.
Jerry, Jerry, we discussed this yesterday. I wish we made bets because we had some ideas of where Josh was gonna go. And he was the first one. We're joking. We were joking around like yesterday, somewhere in the afternoon. We're texting each other, and we're like, "Where do you think where Josh gonna land with the movies? Is he gonna like Street Fighter more, or is he gonna like freaking Mortal Kombat more?" And I'm where it's like, I think he's gonna like. We're both together at the same time, like Street Fighter. He's gonna like Street Fighter. And then Jerry's like, "Would it be really scary if Josh like Mortal Kombat more?" I'm like, "He's not gonna." I'm like, I literally wrote back to him, "He's not going to."
Yeah, well, that was a fair assessment. I'm surprised you guys said that. Okay, because the other one's obviously a worse movie. I like it more.
After watching it, I'm like, Josh is gonna find so many funny things in this. He's gonna love it.
Yeah.
At
least Josh was giving. We know Josh enjoys it when he starts giving characters they gives no like fucks about names of his own. And this in Mortal Kombat, he's like actually trying to use their names.
Yeah. Exactly. Well, yeah, Mortal Kombat, I have more familiarity with, but like I still don't know.
Latrey. No, you need Latrey. No, Latrey. No.
I'm gonna have to look at the host chat.
No, but it's I agree with what Josh said. I think Street Fighter is a more fun movie. I'd probably watch it again, maybe. But I've watched.
Yeah, that's fair.
I've watched Mortal Kombat so much. If somebody's like, let's watch Mortal Kombat, I'd probably skip it.
Yeah.
Anybody else want to go next? Because I'm ready to go.
On Big Booty Dandy, don't tempt him. He will cash app Josh. I'll give him 50.
Oh my god. Tony, I feel like you should go next.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. I've seen this movie a couple of times. I feel like every time I watch it, I like it a little less. And like the scenes that I always liked. But like the scenes that I've always liked, I always liked. Like I really always liked Sonya head snapping Kano and like the fight. And then the fight with Scorpion and Johnny Cage. I don't know. I have like a very strange, like, what's it called? Deja vu of just like watching, I think renting another disconnect.
Froze. Bye, Tony.
He rates it a 4.
Yeah. Well, Tony, just come back on and you'll finish your
Come
review.
back to us, Tony.
Yeah. Oh, here's
His cat's
Tony.
interfering.
His cat chewed on the wires.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, we stop. As I was saying, I've seen this movie. I've seen this movie many times. Every time I see it, I like it a little less. The scenes I liked, I always like. I don't know. I think I agree with Josh. Honestly, like I think honestly, I'll disagree with you guys. I think Street in the way.
Bye, Tony.
Oh my.
But Tony, look, Trey loves you. Come back. No, are you?
No, you left.
No, you're gone again.
Just keep going, Tony. We'll keep adding you in, buddy.
Yeah. Matt, you do your review while Tony comes back.
Got it. Shoot. I give this at least. I'm just gonna shoot for it. Just go with like, it's a 5 for me. I like this movie. I've seen it a bunch of times. I do like how they use the jail. Oh my god, no! But I liked how they used like actually the CGI and stuff to like show off their abilities, and they use it like not a lot, but they used it when they had to use it, and that was good enough. Like the Scorpion stuff, that's like mostly the Scorpion and the Sub-Zero I like the most of the CGI stuff. It's more solid than everyone else's because it's more like an energy burst than an actual like their ability, but it's symbolizing at least you're getting the effect. Rayden actually he did get some lightning, but like it wasn't like top notch like what you got for like Scorpion and freaking Sub-Zero stuff because you actually see like icing and like the freaking like the chain coming out. Oh god. And but like I can keep watching this movie. I do get to a point I do get like this time I kind of hit like a slower part and like I did get a little tired of watching it at one point because like I'm just watching this just to watch it for the podcast. I'm not doing it at my leisure. I'm just like I'm gonna sit down, enjoy myself, and actually watch it. And I'm just like, all right, I'm just doing this to refresh in my fucking head so I can at least make sure I remember the scenes correctly for the podcast instead of just like having my fun with it. But a normal day watch, I usually don't lose that much steam. Like I stay with it. I kind of dabble watch the second one, but you know that's just a daring thing. You don't do that to yourself.
Please don't recommend it.
No, Josh, if I ever recommend it, I give you permission to come choke me out. That movie is god awful.
Wait, Matt, did you give it a number?
No, I gave it in the beginning of it. I gave it a 5.
Oh, okay. Tony, you've been here for a while. I think you're safe now.
Okay, yeah. I was just gonna say, I for some reason I kind of like the effects of Street Fighter a little better. It just felt like Mortal Kombat. They tried a lot and they did the best with what they could with their budget. But just watching it again, I saw so many things where I was like, oh my god, like when Sonya is like on the wall, she's like on the wall like this or something, and it like I don't know. She's like green screened on, and like you can just like see the border around her. Like it's like this far off of her skin. I was like, oh my god, it just like looked wild. Whereas like I felt like everything in Street Fighter like looked really cheesy and practical, but like you didn't have any of that ever, which is like I don't know, it's fine. I mean,
overstep its bounds with what they
I can agree with that, Tony.
Which is fine. I guess it like just aged better because they didn't really try anything except for Blanca, but I don't want to talk about that anymore. So I don't know. I think I'd give this like a 6 because like I used to love this movie a lot, and the more I watch it, the less I like it. But I still liked it at one point, so it's a 6.
So next time you'll give it a 5, and then next time you give it a 4.
No, this is overall. This is like
That's what it sounds like.
no,
This
this
is
is like
an
an
8 at one point.
no, it's like an average. Like I think as a kid, I'd probably give it like an 8. But like watching it now, I was like, oh, I don't like this as much anymore. So it's like something in the middle. I don't know.
Yeah, this is my first time watching both films, so like I have no nostalgia trip at all. So
Yeah.
Yeah, I can agree with what everyone said. It for me, I'm gonna follow with Tony. I'm gonna give it a 6. It like Josh said, this movie did definitely stick more to the serious note, which worked for it. They kept the same pace, they didn't deviate from it. They, kept that same motion all the way to the end. And then, like how Tony was saying, there's some shots and some scenes of things that are like, okay, now that I'm attentively like watching this as an adult, I can see like small errors that just kind of just nick so much that it's jarring to me. But it definitely, like between the two films, of course I've said I've watched this the most. But it's, I'm gonna enjoy the film, regardless, because I know I'll give me some good fight scenes, I'll give me some corny dialogue and some horrible action sequences here and there. And most of all, it's as far as an early 90s, well, not even early 90s, because this came out in 95.
It's a mid.
So it's mid. So, for a mid 90s movie to use as much special visual effects as they did for 20 million as a budget, I think that alone, should give it some more justice than outside of the small things that we could just pull apart and be like, yeah, they could have done this a little bit better. And, they should have, swapped this character out and just deleted that scene entirely to save like an extra 15 minutes in the movie. It, like Crispy, I was eating dinner just listening to the movie because I already watched the scenes I wanted just, refreshers and, confirmation on that I remembered right. I've seen it so many times. I'm just at the point, like I said before, if somebody says, let's watch it, I'm probably not going to watch it. I've got 30 minutes left, like still to watch. I might do that like when I'm on lunch or something tomorrow. I don't know. But it's, this is a good movie for if you want a video game movie that sticks. I would say about 90% true to its source material. But if you want something that you're going to laugh till your sides hurt because of how just goofy and just camp that it is, Street Fighter is still another option too, because bad movies are good to watch. Unless it's just unbearable.
Yeah, for sure. I think I don't know. I probably would have paid more attention if I watched Mortal Kombat first before Street Fighter. So like, there's that to account as well. I watched Street Fighter and then I was like, I gotta watch this other movie, and I was like, oh man, I'm kind of checked out at this point. So that's kind of what happened. But I did watch. I watched both of them. It happened.
It's like a punishment. I had to do it.
Yeah.
It was a chore. Like, what the fuck?
But this is something I've wanted to use the 95 Mortal Kombat for a little while. And I'm glad, everybody had their likes and dislikes with it. It's, it's a movie that I've always seen mixed reviews of. And I saw people, like I was just on Facebook scrolling, which what gave me the idea for the Street Fighter movie. People were like, they were talking about 90s films and Mortal Kombat got brought up. And then a bunch of people started bringing up how Street Fighter was just this amalgamation of stuff happening. And I'm like, what?
It was.
And I think comparing these two movies together is really solid because you get both ends of the spectrum. You get a serious
You
video
do.
game movie, and you get a fun video game movie.
You
get
do.
Lord
I thought they were
Bison,
gonna be-
and then you get Sleepy Rayden.
Yeah. I loved Lord Bison. He was great. He was legitimately like a good character.
Yes,
I think that was like wild.
that actor brought life to the character.
Yeah, for sure. And like, yeah, it's just so camp. I thought the tones of the movies were actually going to be similar, just going into it, but they weren't at all.
I tried to go for like really opposite.
Yeah, I'm glad.
I'm glad Street Fighter was, because I don't know if I could have
Definitely
handled a
was.
serious Street Fighter.
Wait for it. 2 more years after the 6 drops, we're gonna have a movie.
So Matt, I wanted to make an announcement. For we're not gonna do your picks for next week. I'm sorry, Tony is jumping over you.
Yeah, motherfucker. Yeah,
we needed more.
I'm gonna drive up to Albany.
we needed more Tony time. So
we got to get Tony back on here. It's always fun having Tony.
Yeah, the last one he gave us was that Travolta movie that you loved.
I was hoping for my picks. I was hoping Tony would jump on too, but all right, we're getting an episode of Tony.
All right.
So just announce it now, Tony.
Okay, so we're gonna be watching Mortal Kombat Annihilation and Street Fighter.
Tony, please, Tony, please.
Round 2, motherfuckers.
If that's true, man, it's getting his picks back.
I'm kidding. All right, this is like a different change of pace, but I don't know. I really like the movie Good Time. I know Josh has wanted to watch it. It's a good movie. Good time. It's a good time. Depending on how you feel about certain things in movies, it's a good time. So Good Time is the movie.
Yeah, Robert Pattinson. Who else is in it?
I don't even remember. It's mostly just him. This one of the directors of the movie is like one of the main characters. Safdie.
Why don't we just do The Lighthouse?
No, it's not.
Wait, what's the name of the movie, Tony?
Good Time.
Good Time.
It sounds familiar, actually.
Good Time. It's a movie, not a sitcom, right?
No, it's a movie. It is
Okay.
Not a
Okay,
comedy.
I got it now.
But it's so that, and then I was thinking for the episode, I don't know. The new Trigun series is coming out. Maybe let's just send it new Trigun episode 1.
Trigun episode.
Trigun. Oh, right, Trigun. Okay. Is that going to be?
I don't even know what that is.
Just because the new show is coming out, let's send it.
Are we watching like the old school Trigun or the new one?
Yeah, the old school one.
Old
What
school?
is that, like the
Okay.
80s or 90s?
90s.
I think that's 90s. All right.
Yeah, I think
So
this
everyone-
is on Funimation. They've been broadcasting Trigon.
It's also on
Yeah, I think it
Hulu
is,
if you
too.
have it.
Trigun show?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I
So,
put
if
Trigun, I'm getting the character from Teen Titans, which I don't
No, you're looking for this.
Trigun. Oh, I put Gone, not Gun.
So if you don't want to be spoiled for Trigun episode 1 and the movie Good Time, make sure you watch it before next episode.
Yeah. Sorry, Matt. I didn't,
You should have told me.
I was actually
thinking,
going to tell you
okay.
before the episode. I was
Exactly.
going to tell you before the episode, and I kind of
Whoa.
forgot. Trigun.
I
Okay.
didn't know I could switch if the camera was mirrored or not. That's crazy.
Yeah, so
Yeah,
when
it's
you
been
point,
good.
it actually goes in the right
The right
direction on
direction.
screen. But when you're actually pointing, it's like,
Oh, no, I hate that. No,
Can we do it like
no,
this?
No,
We can do
we're
it like
going back to
this.
mirrored. Yeah.
Tony,
Yeah,
scoot
Actually,
your
no,
frame
like
to the.
better.
I
I
feel
don't know. What do you
short.
guys like? Well, Trey, tell us what you like. Do you like this one? Or do you like, this one?
You're giving him too much power, Josh.
I know. I want to scoot this.
In fact, by the time he gets this, we can end the episode.
Yeah, we're going to end the episode. So end the episode and then you'll answer.
So, If you don't want to be spoiled for Trigun and Good Time, make sure you watch it before the next episode. And now let's get ready to close out. This is Jerry guiding you all with Green Lantern's light.
This is Superman's pal, Matt.
I'm Josh, sending you off up, and away until next Batyards finest episode.
Tony!
And we're becoming super pals one episode at a time.
Featuring Tony.
Yay. Slut.
Good night, everybody.
Oh, God. Give me
Josh on the broadcast.